enforcement ministers to impose curfews and travel bans, confiscate private property, and deploy the armed forces to any UK location of their choosing. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. It's simple. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the weekend edition of the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
With each successive bite failing to relieve his anxieties, increasingly worried man Dylan Hawks told reporters today that he has yet to come across any trace of guacamole in his burrito, despite having specifically requested it when ordering.
No, there definitely wasn't any guac there. Cheese, beans, chorizo. Oh man, I hope they didn't forget.
Hawks has continued to maintain hope that there may still be an undiscovered sliver of avocado somewhere in his tortilla. However, with his fears for the meal mounting, Hawks has reportedly considered asking the cashier for a refund at various points while eating the burrito.
The thing is, if you had a burrito and it was missing cheese, you might not notice it because there's sour cream, but guacamole is completely different. I just don't know how I wouldn't have tasted it by now. Christ, I'm almost done with this thing.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Welcome to Free Talk Live. It is the live Saturday edition of the program. As always, you're invited to join us right here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Coming up, we've got the latest out of New Zealand. Earlier this week, I don't know if you were on for the episode, Mark, where we discussed in detail the Films, Videos, and Publications Classification Act in New Zealand.
Yes.
You were on for that.
Well, I did it on my show. You did it on another one. So.
Oh, yeah, you did it the day after we did it. So, okay, good. So there's news about the censorship in New Zealand, and it's getting, well, I mean, it's bad. It's already been bad. It's not getting any worse. It's just they're now censoring the manifesto by the shooter. So the video has already been deemed as arrestable.
Yeah.
And now
they are incarcerating people right now in New Zealand for having shared the video of the shooter. Now, I haven't seen this video, but as I understand it, it's not particularly bloody, just...
it's gross.
It's just awful.
So we can talk about that.
What's happening.
That's on the way here tonight if we get the chance. But Mark, you wanted to start with a story about a college professor who has a little experiment that she's been doing in the streets of whatever city it is she's in. London? What's going on?
Well, from the newstatesman.com, written by, what's this gal's name? It's down here at the bottom. Charlotte Riley. How I Play Patriarchy Chicken.
So she's writing her own article.
That's right.
About this. Okay, got it.
Why I refuse to move out of the way for men. If you don't move out of the way for men, your commute changes. For one thing, I'm not going to lie about this. You do collide with a lot of men. A few days ago, I was having a bad morning. My train tickets were expensive, my train was delayed, and my coffee was cold. But I cheered myself up by playing a game on my commute. The game is called Patriarchy Chicken. The rules are simple. Do not move out of the way for men. Put like that, this doesn't sound like much fun, but the joy of Patriarchy Chicken lies in its simplicity. I commute from East London to Southampton during the morning rush hour, navigating busy tube platforms, train carriages, escalators, and Waterloo Station. There are lots of bodies moving through small spaces, walking in every direction, trying to get to where they want to go. And if you're a woman, you find yourself constantly dodging, sidestepping men who are walking in your direction, being wiped out by a wheelie suitcase drugged by a besooted man, moving to the side to let faster men move past you, or just pausing to let men bustle in front of you onto the train, or into the lift, or into the escalator, or on with their busy lives to their important jobs. If you don't move out of the way for men, your commute changes. For one thing, I'm not going to lie about this. You do collide with a lot of men. This is where the name of the game comes from. You need to really commit to patriarchy chicken. Don't let your social instinct to step to the side kick in. This is obviously written for women because it's saying it to men. Men are going to walk into you, and it isn't your fault. Some men don't walk straight into you, of course. Some men find their brains overridden by the unfamiliar experience of a woman refusing to give way. Last week, on a busy train platform, a man was so confused by my trajectory towards him that he stopped dead in front of me, holding eye contact and flapped his mouth like a fish. You will find that a lot of men just stop. It's up to you to decide how to react to this. It's also important to note that patriarchy chicken isn't about anger. Of course, you can put your head down, square your shoulders, glower, and power through, but in my opinion, the best way to play the game is cheerfully. Smile, make eye contact, but never, ever give way.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I love this because I have no idea what this lady's talking about, right? I do. One of three things is the case regarding this one for me. That's coming from my point of view. Either A, London is completely different than any place I've ever lived, right?
Meaning that men don't get out of the way for women in London, whereas
could be, right? I've spent very little time in London, basically taking a bus ride from Heathrow to Gatwick. That's it. So I don't know anything about London. I'm not going to propose to know this lady's experience. However, these other two are much more likely to me. One, I'm completely oblivious to my own behavior and the behavior of my own male friends, right? Like,
and you don't realize that...
and I don't realize I'm doing this, or this lady is knuckin' futz. Now, I'm tending to go for number 3 here, that she is just crazy.
Well, she may be crazy, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's not having this experience.
I understand. She may be having this experience, or but where I'm from, men get out of the way for women.
Well, the way I've always handled, an approaching other person is to attempt to avoid whoever that person is, whether it be a man or a woman.
Why would you want to walk into somebody?
Right.
Only somebody playing patriarchy chicken would want to do that.
Well, I want to know. I don't know if she tells the rest of the story about the guy that stopped in front of her.
She's got another story, but that's the single most clear picture of what happened.
But what I want to know is what happened then. Did she stop in front of him and just have a stare down competition?
Yeah, she said that she wasn't going to move out of the way. I mean, she says never move out of the way. She's very clear.
I know, so I'm presuming that's what happened, but she doesn't tell us exactly how that ended. She says his mouth flapped like a fish, and then she kind of ends the story there.
Yes.
Like, well, did he wait 30 seconds and then move around you? Did you guys just stand there for 2 minutes locking eyes in a stare-down contest?
It's like that book from Dr. Seuss, the Northbound Jacks and the Southbound Jacks. Do you remember that one?
No.
Everybody remembers the Starbelly Sneetches. Nobody remembers the North and Southbound Jackses. But it's basically the same story as an immovable object reaches an unstoppable force, more or less. But these two creatures, a Northbound Jacks and a Southbound Jacks, happen to walk into each other. Now they can't go east or west. They can't go south or north, depending on which one it is. So they just had to sit there. Civilizations rose and fell around these creatures as they stood there looking at each other, waiting for the one to get out of the way of the other.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with you. It would seem that men who are courteous would be, and just through their natural way of moving about, that humans try to avoid one another. I think that they would step aside. But
she has an explanation as to what men actually think.
She actually asked any of them.
Well, I don't know about that. It doesn't sound like she has much use for their opinion.
Because I mean, it seems to me like this lady, the way she was describing this situation of being in the train station and all the men everywhere and just focusing constantly on her interactions with men, I mean, she definitely seems to be obsessed with everything that men do in her life and that she encounters. And I just think that's a strange perspective to be coming from. But in life, when you focus on a thing, whether it be men, or whether it be a certain type of car or whatever, you're going to notice you see that thing more often.
Right, indigestion. If you just focus on how your stomach's feeling, you're going to feel indigestion more often.
Yeah,
people all across America right now are thinking about their stomachs because I've just mentioned it.
Exactly. So what I notice this is like when I get a new car. If I get a car I've never had before, I all of a sudden will notice that car everywhere. Now, it's not there more often than it was previously.
Presumably.
It's just that it's in my consciousness, and it's something that I'm more aware of, so I pick up on it more often. And so I think that's really what's going on here. Now, again, maybe you're right, or maybe she's right. Maybe men in London are just pricks.
Maybe. And when paying I can't play Patriarchy Chicken because I have male privilege, right? I'm this imposing figure of which she speaks. I am almost 6 feet tall. I weigh 200 pounds. I occupy the space. I stand up straight when I walk. Yes, I am that creature of which she speaks. But I believe that I get out of the way of people. Now, I'm not in the cramped quarters of London tubes by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
I don't like living in these big cities and don't want to live like that. So that's her business, not mine. But yeah, I mean, I just don't understand. So
she's got more of an explanation here?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
She's got lots to say.
I want to hear more.
Yeah, Patriarchy Chicken. Lots and lots to say about it. The point of Patriarchy Chicken is not just that you get where you're going marginally faster, although you do, or that you irritate a number of men, which you also do. The point is, men have been socialized for their entire lives to take up space. Men who would never express these thoughts out loud have nevertheless
been socialized to take up space?
Yes. You must take up your space. You're a man, by God.
I don't understand that statement. The toll-free number here is 855.
Well, she said you'd never express your thoughts aloud.
450 free. We do that every night here on Free Talk Live. 855-450-3733. Is this lady on to something? Has this been your experience, especially as a woman, walking about in crowded places? 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Go to themorganreport.com and receive updates and insights you will not find anywhere else on the web. You will discover how to grow and protect your wealth under all market conditions. The free Morgan Report provides interviews, webinars, question and answer sessions, plus mind-blowing videos. As David Morgan says, let my passion create your wealth. Themorganreport.com. Themorganreport.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale. Totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com. Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free to join us here, 855-450-FREE. We're talking about this idea of Patriarchy Chicken, which is a little game that a college professor, I guess,
she's a college
came
professor.
up with in London. She claims that it has been tough her whole life walking from place to place because she has to get out of the way, or she feels like she has to get out of the way for men. And she's writing an opinion piece about this. And I'm sorry, where did it appear?
NewStatesman.com.
New Statesman.
Yeah, her name is, I got to scroll up to get it. I'm sorry.
No worries. So she plays this game when she's walking to work through train stations and such that are crowded, full of people, where she will not move out of the way for an oncoming man. Now, presumably she will for a woman, but she will not do so for a man. She seems to have a real stick up her butt about her encounters with men in this particular way.
She may very well be right.
And maybe she is. I don't know.
I don't know.
It doesn't ring a bell for me. It's not been my experience. I've always, been... I'm the kind of person who's going to get out of the way for anybody.
That's what she thinks you would say. She knows that you would say that. But
the
you're
reality,
wrong.
The reality, she says,
She
is
says
different.
right here, the point of Patriarchy Chicken is not just to get where you're going marginally faster, although you do, or that you irritate a number of men, which you also do. The point is that men have been socialized for their entire lives to take up space. Men who
Whatever
would...
that means.
Well, what do you think it means?
Is that when, like a man sitting, like right now I'm sitting with my leg in man style, where I've not, closed the gap between my legs? It's kind of, the one
it means precisely
leg is on
that.
top of the other leg, so it takes up a little more space. Is that the idea?
She means that you, as a male...
Generally, the idea there is to give your junk a little more space, though, I think.
She doesn't care about your junk at all. Like, it is of no importance to Charlotte Riley about your junk. What she believes is that you've been socialized to take up space, to occupy more space than your actual body
If she
should
wants to
have.
go and sit down on a chair and spread her legs just as wide as a man would, it wouldn't bother me.
Not if it's busy on the subway.
Yeah.
You basically, everybody has to kind of keep their space occupied. Her concern is that some people... and in her view, mostly those people are men, are more likely to take up 2 seats than 1. And she doesn't like
Does
that.
she say that?
I'm going to get to that as soon as you stop yakking.
Well, I can't stop because I've got things to say that we need to say, like about helpmetakebitcoin.com. It is a brand new website from the folks at AnyPay. We've told you about AnyPay and how they are the go-to company when it comes to accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Zcash and Dash, Bitcoin Cash and others. They make it super easy at your point of sale. If you've got a real-life business and you want to accept Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, anypay.global can help you, but their new website is helpmetakebitcoin.com. That's helpmetakebitcoin.com. Their iOS app is now available. It took it a little while because, well, Apple has to approve everything that goes into their app store. So that's available. It's been available for a few months now on Android. And of course, there's also a web version as well. It makes it super easy. The setup process is as simple as creating a username and password, putting your cryptocurrency wallet addresses into the back end, and then loading the app on your tablet at your point of sale. That's it. And helpmetakebitcoin.com will take you through those steps, step by step. It's super fast and way easier than you think. It's helpmetakebitcoin.com. All right, let's continue here because I did open, the phones are open as always here on Free Talk Live, and I did throw out the, the inquiry because, Mark, you and I, we're men, so maybe we're, closed off to the way things are.
I wrote that down as one of the distinct possibilities. I made it possibility number 2 here.
So that's why I'm asking for female listeners, if you want to weigh in here with your experience of walking in crowded places and,
getting on elevators. Do men push you out of the way to get on elevators?
Does she get to that too?
No, she said lifts.
Okay.
They use the term lift. But her presumption is that men get on escalators, and then you just got to make your way. And she says that playing patriarchy chicken, getting in people's way actually makes it faster for her to get to work. So she claims that that's a noticeable difference.
Even though she says she also runs into people more often.
Yeah, yes, she does.
All right, let's continue with the story. And by the way, toll-free number 855-450-FREE, like freedom, if you want to join us.
Men have been socialized for their entire lives to take up space. Men who would never express these thoughts out loud have nevertheless been brought up to believe that their right to occupy space takes precedent over anyone else's right to be there. Now, does
presumably
that mean,
other men?
I guess.
Well?
I mean,
ridiculous.
I don't know what it means. They spread their legs on tubes and trains. They bellow across coffee shops and guffaw in pubs. And they never, ever give way. This lady...
Is she married?
I suspect quite the opposite, sir. Just a guess, but I think that she's just completely irritated with men.
That sounds like it.
It sounds like, they're just in her space.
Yeah.
Women have not been socialized to take up space. Women have been socialized to give way, to alleviate, to conciliate, to step to the side. This is so ingrained that we don't even think about it. Women who are listening to me right now, you don't even think about how you give way to men. That's what she says. We might stand up in meetings and make our point even when we know a man will take the credit. I can't even imagine that happens here. Well, I mean, that just hasn't happened. Okay, that doesn't happen where I have worked.
Huh.
No. But I work in media, and media has been strong in women for a long time. So I don't know. But whatever. I can't say. And make our point even when we know a man will take credit. We might dutifully delete the exclamation marks from our emails so as not to undermine ourselves, but we will still step aside.
Deleting exclamation marks?
Do you ever delete exclamation points? Do you use them?
You mean like when you have more than one or something? Or like in more than one on one sentence? You changing your mind?
Either way.
No, I generally use only one exclamation mark, but...
I've been told that it's a very lazy way to write anyway, so you should make your words the
exclamatory.
Yeah, exclamatory as opposed to the point.
That sounds like a nice idea.
I do find myself using it at times, trying to drive a point home. I don't think it does. I think it's so overused at this point that it can't possibly. I'm an able-bodied 5'6" white woman. I move through this world with a lot of privilege, and I'm not going to pretend that patriarchy chicken will work for everyone, but for me, it's a way of reclaiming a little bit of space and reminding myself to question some of the other assumptions that might sometimes be holding me back. So if you're a woman, you're walking around today, try a game of patriarchy chicken. Lean in, sisters, sharpen those elbows, collide with some men. Dr. Charlotte Riley is a lecturer in the 20th century.
This sounds dangerous. I mean, especially with the attitude that some of these, I don't know, feminists, you want to use that term, these people have.
She has not used that term. She has used the term patriarchy, which is about as dead a giveaway as you can find.
Now, I don't think this would be a problem for me because, like I said, I'll get out of the way of whoever.
She says here, lean in, sisters. You don't count.
No. I mean, as far as like, what I was going to say is if she runs into a man, then how far are we away from her accusing the man of assault or, touching her inappropriately or something like that? I mean, you don't want to run into these people, period. I mean, I don't want to run into anybody because it's inconvenient, but I would even less want to run into someone who is on this particular mission because I would suspect they'd be ready to drop a lawsuit as fast as they possibly can.
I certainly don't have time in the morning to play around with people who, want to run into folks on a commute. Just not interested in that. Thanks.
The toll-free number here tonight is 855-450-FREE. You're welcome to comment on this or, feminism in general, the state of men and women in the world today. Is it as bad as this lady says it is? I don't believe it.
It is for some people.
855 450 free like freedom. Well, it's in her mind that bad. But what's reality? It's Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
The United States of Empire is a book that claims the United States is the empire of the world. George Washington had warned us against foreign wars. The United States of Empire shows that World Wars I and II left England broken. Its former colony, the U.S., had to save the empire. Was there ever a vote? Who do we fight for? The deep state began with World War I. The United States of Empire by James Dunn. Available at Amazon Books.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll-free, bring up whatever you want. We're on this live Saturday edition. Our toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Here tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
And don't forget, you can also join us online over at freetalklive.com. We've got a lot of features that we've got on that site, and they're free, including archives that go back for more than a decade. all free for you over at freetalklive.com. Now, if you like what we're doing at Free Talk Live, then please become a Free Talk Live amplifier, as has done Gaylord. So you can sign up over at amp.freetalklive.com for $5 a month. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. And your $5 a month, or more if you want to do more, but $5 is what we ask. That's money that we then invest into Free Talk Live so we can get on new radio stations to bring new people to the ideas of freedom. So if you like what we're doing, then this is the best way that you can help us over at amp.freetalklive.com. As we continue with your calls and thoughts, let's go to Tim. He's in Chattanooga, Tennessee, listening to WGOW FM. Hello, Tim.
Hey, listen, I used to work in Cincinnati. I worked in the trust department at a bank there. This goes back 28 years ago. Of course, I'd have a coat and tie on, and on my lunch break, I'd be walking the crowded streets of Cincinnati when I was living up there. And I noticed that when I'd walk, I'd constantly have to get out of the way for people, these guys. And these weren't businessmen. I don't know what they were doing downtown, just walking around or whatever. But the streets were pretty crowded. And so one day I just decided that I would play a little chicken, right?
Okay.
I'm about 6'4", 220 pounds.
You're an imposing figure.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I intimidating, not trying to be, all right?
Right.
So I'm walking along, and I wouldn't give my shoulder way, because you just kind of move out of the way just real quickly at the last second. And I was amazed at how many people got out of my way. So that's just kind of what I started doing. It's like, not trying to get in anybody's way, but good night. Just, be a human being and get out of people's way. Of course, I never did this with a woman. I would never do this with a woman.
Right. You shoulder check a gal. Well, you'd probably be elbow checking her, actually. You elbow check a gal, and you're going to knock her over. But so you're talking about your experience in dealing with men. Now, in this article, the good doctor, Dr. Charlotte Riley here, is specifically speaking about men in suits who are busy going about their days, pulling. She also mentions people pulling little suitcases behind them, going to work and that sort of thing. So presumably she's not talking about your average ruffian walking through the tubes of London.
Right. And I think this just goes back to upbringing. And the other thing, too, is I've ridden some subways, and I don't know if you've noticed how low those seats are, but your knees are about in your chin.
Yeah. They're not made for men. So if they decided to bring
everything, yeah. And so that's one reason why you do what they call man spreading.
Yep.
Don't mean to, but if they would make them higher, it wouldn't be which they could probably do.
They could. Then smaller people's the blood would be cut off at the backs of their legs on long trips,
right.
And so you've got to make the seat a height that is acceptable for people who range from like 4'5" to 6'5", and that just doesn't work very well. They're certainly not going to be comfortable. They have to be made of formed plastic because that's the only thing durable enough and cheap enough that they can make it out of. If they made it out of something soft, then it'd just get ripped up.
So you're saying, Tim, that what this lady's claiming about men is not your experience as a man walking about. You do make way for ladies, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
That's what you would say.
I make way for other guys too. Yeah. Well, I make way for other guys. I mean, that was just a specific situation at a time in my life. I was out of college,
just wanted to
walking along and wanted to see what would happen, and I was kind of amazed that people did make way for me.
I've never been so irritated that I would do such a thing as you have, but I mean, you're in a big city. I haven't spent day after day in a big city working, so I haven't had that particular experience. Most of the time, it's very easy to get out of people's way, and I think I do it.
Tim, anything else you want to share tonight?
Nope.
Thanks for the call, man.
Thanks,
I appreciate hearing from you. Let's continue. We got Barry. By the way, toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. Still,
men
would like to hear from a woman on this. It is that would be nice. But we got Barry. He's on the line in South Carolina, listening to WQXL in Columbia. Go ahead, Barry, on FM.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Good. What's on your mind, Barry?
Well, I just, I'm familiar enough with academia and, people that work in it. And, being published is a big thing for folks like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this woman really just is, this is such a load of garbage. Most men in my generation, I'm 66, but most men in my generation were raised to be gentlemen. And, you know, I still hold doors for women. I'll
hold doors for anybody.
You know? Yeah. I mean, if I'm going into a store, I always give way. I'll open the door and I'll hold the door. And I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4", 200 pounds. Used to be a lot bigger, but
yeah, you're svelte.
You know, I just well, svelte. I doubt it, but you know, I mean, just this whole article, as you know, gentlemen read it and we're talking about it, and I'm thinking, man, this woman is a real nut. You know, I mean, if she wants to go out there and cause confrontation, then you know. That's her thing, but I really think she wrote this article just to get her name out there, get something published, because I have yet to see, and I've lived in big cities. I lived in New York City for a while, in smaller cities, and I have yet to see. Now going down the sidewalk, yeah, you're gonna meet some people that are rushing to get somewhere. And, you know, what's the harm in just moving over a little bit and let them go by?
There's no harm.
You know, I mean, I don't care. Nobody's elbowing me, you know, but really, this woman's got a problem.
Right. If I realize a person is...
Either that or she just needs to find something different to write about. You know, she wants to get her name out there and get published.
Well, everybody's got to have a hobby, apparently.
Right, and hers is getting read by libertarians on the air.
Barry, thanks for the call tonight, man.
Anyway,
I appreciate. Go ahead.
In line with that guy that was on before, you know, same thing, except I didn't, you know, test the. I never felt a need to test the, you know, whether you could bully your way through somewhere.
Well, yeah, I mean, surprise, if you're 220 pounds, most people are going to make way for you, right? I mean, that's just the sort of the reality of life. The bigger fish
maybe so, but
don't tend to get out of the way.
I've you know, elderly men all throughout my life, any man, really, you know, if he looked like he was in more of a hurry to me,
let him go.
For him,
there you go. Thanks, Barry, for the call. I appreciate it. Toll-free number, 855-450-FREE, like freedom.
The only time I've ever experienced anything like this would be high school, where you're in hallways between classes that are packed, and, you know, there's a crush of bodies, and sometimes you'd meet an a-hole who, like, did the shoulder check thing, and every once in a while you'd meet somebody. You know what a shoulder check is, Ian?
Where you hit somebody.
Yeah, your shoulder hits their shoulder
on purpose.
Rather than sort of turning that little turn when you, you know. So, there's one guy in particular I could remember who seemed to have a real chip on his shoulder and will like go out of his way to bump into me. That's bullying. That's not what this lady's talking about. I mean, that's somebody who has picked a individual person or a group of individual people.
They want to start something with you.
Yeah, you know,
that's why they're checking you.
Yeah, whatever his reason was, I don't know, but it surprised me a few times. He caught me, but there's nothing I could do about it. By the time you catch your breath, he's gone. And
unless they're waiting for you to do something. You know, like
he wasn't
instigating.
Wasn't doing that. It seemed like he might just be all about doing a bunch of shoulder checks in the hallway to see just
how many he can do or whatever.
Just to get back at other people for whatever perceived privilege they may have that he didn't have or whatever. And consider that that's what all that this gal's doing too, is that this is all about privilege for her. Oh, I said gal. That might be bad.
Speaking of gals, there's one on the line. So we'll get to her coming up here. Hopefully she's got some thoughts on this issue. 850, which I didn't know was an issue.
Right.
855.
Brand new issue to me.
450 free. That's 855-450-3733. Plus censorship. The manifesto of the shootings down in Christchurch, New Zealand has been deemed objectionable. We'll tell you what that means coming up. Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
This is George Norrie from Coast to Coast AM and History Channel's Ancient Aliens, and we're proud to promote amazing energy, nutrition, and skincare products from Jeunesse. Visit gcnlife.com for products like Luminesse. The Luminesse anti-aging skincare line restores youthful vitality and radiance to your skin, reducing the appearances of fine lines and wrinkles with stem cell technology. There's also Instantly Ageless, which works within 2 minutes, reducing under-eye bags, fine lines, wrinkles, and pores. Jeunesse has products to help you with how you look and feel in a very short time. Nobel-nominated Dr. Vincent Jampapa has designed several products helping the body perform better. Jeunesse products have a 30-day money-back guarantee, and they're available up to a 25% preferred price discount. See all of the amazing Jeunesse products at gcnlife.com or call toll-free 1-844-443-6637, 1-844-443-6637.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Live Saturday edition of the show. You may dial toll-free to join us right here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. We've also got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. We'll be going to one of those here shortly. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
As we continue, do want to make sure that you know about Liberty stickers. If you want to reach people with the ideas of liberty, you can do it from the back of your car. I like to use them on the back of my laptop as well, but wherever it is you can stick them, they are useful because you'll reach thousands of people with a bumper sticker, and you know people love to read them. You can check out the vast selection of witty, poignant, pithy, and downright bombastic, liberty-oriented messages over at libertystickers.com. Plus, if you need some custom bumper stickers done, then you can do that with Liberty Stickers. They can handle whatever kind of order you want to throw at them. In fact, that's how we get our Free Talk Live bumper stickers and the LRN.FM bumper stickers as well. So if you want to get a free sample of the quality of the Liberty stickers, just go to promote.freetalklive.com and you'll find our mailing address there. Send a self-addressed stamped envelope to that address. We will drop the appropriate sticker in the envelope, or more than one. You can grab two if you want. And we'll send them back to you. And you get to find out how good the Liberty stickers are. LibertyStickers.com. All right, we continue here. Jennifer is on the line in Alaska. Hello, Jennifer. You're on Free Talk Live, listening to KBYR.
Hello. No, I'm calling from Arkansas.
Oh, I'm so sorry. They put the wrong station down here. So you're in Arkansas. Where are you in Arkansas tonight?
I'm in Washington, which is in southwest Arkansas.
Perfect. All right, so what's on your mind?
Oh, I was just calling about the Patriarch chicken.
Yes. Yeah, please.
Okay, so I listen to y'all's show pretty regularly, and this is the first time you guys have just absolutely cracked me up.
All right.
I was laughing so hard I had to pull over. I was listening to you in my car.
I kept emphasizing the word man and woman as I would read through, as I imagined.
Well, what part was funny to you exactly? I'm curious as to what it was.
When one of you guys said, oh gosh, I don't know if I can say it. It's a nut job or.
Yeah, I said knucking futs.
Okay, so you would agree with Mark's assessment that this woman might be crazy.
Yeah, probably a little bit.
So what's your experience been, Jennifer, with being a woman and walking in crowded places and, going towards a man?
Well, I don't have a whole lot of experiences. I live in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas, most of Arkansas is in the middle of nowhere, but I kind of I want to compare it to Walmart.
Okay.
Or even the driving thing. So at Walmart, you've got your buggy and you're going through the aisle and someone just puts their buggy right in the middle of the aisle and they don't care. They're not thinking about anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
They're busy. They just aren't focused on other people.
I will admit, when I'm in the grocery store, I'm confused, right? I have been given a list, and I need to get the things on the list. I don't know.
And you're
where
a man, so you're going to screw it up.
I don't know where the things are. Oh, I only get what is on the list. There is no. If there's any confusion, I just buy them both, return one. I don't care.
Yeah. You're focused. You're thinking on what you're doing. You're not thinking about inconveniencing anyone by putting your buggy right in the middle of the aisle. And that's a issue. People just walking right towards you when you're trying to walk through an aisle or something, and they're looking at something else. And
do you find this to be gender-based?
They're not paying attention. Oh, absolutely not.
No, so it's just people.
No,
it's
not gender-based. It's just people in general.
So let me ask you
this.
The
driving thing.
Before you go on the driving thing, as a guy who goes to the grocery store sometimes, my wife sends me to get cilantro. Now, I cannot tell the difference between parsley and cilantro.
Read the label. It helps.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have a label. The place that I go, it's just rubber bands around these things. And it's like, have fun, gentlemen.
Oh,
Pick.
I see. You mean fresh cilantro.
Figure it out.
Right. And I don't know the difference. So what I'll do is if there's a woman nearby, I'll say, can you tell the difference between, can you tell me which one's parsley and which one's cilantro? And, they're always helpful.
Bless his heart.
Right. But is this sexist? Because normally I would not accost a woman.
It's not sexist to presume that the person also shopping in the vegetable area might know a thing or two about it.
If I have the option of asking a woman, I ask a woman. Like I pick based on gender. Who I presume that she does this same crap to her husband.
Maybe it is sexist. I don't know. Who cares? It gets you the right answer, did it?
I do my own stuff.
Has it ever gotten you the wrong answer, Mark? I guess that's the most important question.
No, it has never gotten me the wrong answer.
Okay, good. Then it makes sense. All right, Jennifer, more of your story. Go ahead.
Well, anyways, the driving thing, people cut corners and stuff. You're coming right at them, and they're just cutting the corner. They're not thinking that there's another actual person, in the vehicle coming towards them, and people have just gotten lazy and they're focused on what they're doing. They're not focused on anybody else.
They're oblivious, I think would be the right word there.
Yeah. And I think that that's the way our society has become. I don't think it's a gender-based. I think it's the way our society is these days is to completely focus on you and not to think about anybody else. And that's really sad, but it's the truth. It's all about me.
Yeah, I think that to some extent there's so much productivity expected out of us, and we're supposed to be so efficient and all those things that we tend to, because our minds are filled up with all that stuff. Yeah, you pretty much have to think about you in many cases. But I think you're right. I think we should all spend some time thinking about other people. And a good place to start is turn signals.
Yeah.
Use those
You're
things.
right. That's
Jennifer,
so
technical question for you, just because I'm a radio geek.
Okay.
Are you listening to us on KTFS in Texarkana, Texas, or Kiel out of Shreveport, Louisiana? Because you're kind of like between those stations. I feel like.
Texarkana.
All
Yeah,
right, right
Texarkana.
on. So
That's
KTFS.
where I'm hearing you from.
Anything else you want to share with our audience tonight, Jennifer?
Oh, well, I just wanted to say that I appreciate your program, and I actually live pretty close to Hope, Arkansas, which is the birthplace of Bill Clinton.
Oh, interesting.
And so, yeah, I'm not really proud of that, but just thought I'd throw that information out there for
Jennifer, thanks for your call. Appreciate you sharing your experience with us here tonight. Let's continue here. Ala Loca on the line in Orlando, another lady caller here with some opinions on walking near or close to or directly
Walking
towards a
while
man.
female.
Yeah, go ahead, Ala Loca.
All right. Hi. I don't want to say it's a conscientious thing. I'm a 5 foot petite female. I'm constantly mistaken for an 18-year-old. I'm 27.
Okay.
I think it's definitely
Hey,
conscientious.
Ala Loca, in defense of old people that call you 18, we really can't tell anymore. I mean, at some point, you get so far removed from that you can't tell the difference between 27 and 18. But go ahead.
Okay. But as I was saying, it's a conscientious thing because I like to go shopping and I'm constantly in small shopping areas. And females, if I'm in the female section, they do not pay attention. I'm literally standing there and I want to look at the same pair of jeans, but they'll just stand there and they won't move. They won't share a spot. So I definitely think it's a conscientious thing. I've dealt with men who are very polite when I go to the gas station. You know, they open the doors for me. They make time for me. So I don't think it's a male thing, but I will say men are horrible huggers. Horrible huggers. They will put your armpit, or they'll put their armpit right in front of your face.
Oh my.
And they don't think twice about it. And if that was the only complaint I have, it would be about that for men, because they don't.
It's based on positioning, right? Like they don't know that their armpit, their armpit is the height of your face, and so therefore it's just a positioning thing, right?
Yeah, I mean I'm pretty small, so but
5 feet.
I don't understand how you don't notice that your armpit's right in my face.
Yeah, I think
totally oblivious, apparently. So your experience hasn't been that men have tried to run straight into you if you've walked at them. Men have gotten out of your way. Has that generally been your experience in your life?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for both females and men.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like it goes for shopping as well. If I'm sure if I was standing somewhere at a register, a male wouldn't move out of the way, but that's just because they're not conscientious. I feel like I'm hyper conscientious because I'm so small. I feel like at any moment someone's going to attack me or I'm going to get run over, but that's just because I'm a small person.
Yeah, I think what I'm hearing here from the ladies is that conscientiousness isn't necessarily had by all people all the time.
Yeah.
And that they're not experiencing this as a male-only thing.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier, is the lady writing the story, she just seems to be obsessed with everything that men do. And so therefore, she, finds all kinds of problems with what men are doing or aren't doing and ignores the problems that she might have had otherwise with the women, who could also be conflict-oriented.
They're pure and just.
Let's just say. Hey, thanks, Ala Loca, for the call tonight. So they're sounding great on our Discord server over at discord.lrn.fm. Hour 2 is next. Join us.
Know someone with a drinking or drug problem? Learn how to get sober after we share these stories.
I was 35 with 2 beautiful children when my life and addiction started to spiral out of control. After my divorce, I went into a depression cycle and started drinking more often and using prescription drugs. After my second DWI and arrest, my ex-husband threatened to take our children away from me.
I was 17 when I became addicted to heroin and meth. I thought I could quit on my own, but I couldn't. It hit me when I was arrested.
Get sober now. Your private insurance may cover costs and we'll get you here. It's simple. Just call Elite Rehab Placement right now. Please don't wait. Your life matters to us. 800-213-9264. 800-213-9264. 800-213-9264. Call right now before it's too late. 800-213-9264.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with the weekend edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,313, silver at $15.42, and Bitcoin is trading around $3,985. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, the 31st U.S. Marine Expeditionary Unit seized a tiny island and airfield with Special Operations airmen and soldiers as part of a new island hopping strategy. The Mind Unleashed reports that the military last week conducted a series of simulated military exercises, attacking and seizing Lashima Island, located off the northwest coast of Okinawa Island in the East China Sea. The new military strategy, known as Expeditionary Advanced Base Operations, will allow Marine units to seize, establish, and operate multiple small bases across the Pacific Ocean, a tactic that will be beneficial in a high-end fight with China. The United States government is withholding $5 billion, meant for the purchase of medicines and raw materials used in medical production, President Nicolas Maduro claimed on Wednesday. The anti-media reports Maduro denounced the move by U.S. authorities, saying the U.S. kidnapped the money in one of the most criminal, brutal, fascist economic measures which has been seen in the economic history of the world. Quote, Trump is the person responsible, end quote. U.S. and European governments have been working on freezing Venezuelan assets in recent months, as well as $1.2 billion worth of gold held in the Bank of England. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at myBraveBotanicals.com. And right now, Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the weekend edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow. New Zealand police Friday revealed that they had met with accused Christchurch mosque shooter Brenton Tarrant in October 2017 as part of a routine home inspection connected to his purchase of the guns used in the March 15th attacks that left 50 dead. Activist Post reports that Tarrant was interviewed in October 2017 while the firearms vetting team carried out a security inspection of his home. 2 New Zealand residents were listed as references, who were also interviewed by police and met the requirements of the process. Tarrant legally purchased several guns in December 2017, including 2 semi-automatic rifles, 2 shotguns, and a lever-action firearm used in the mosque attacks, which had been inscribed with anti-Islamic writings. In the land of the free, failing to realize your taillight is burned out can be a potentially deadly mistake. The Free Thought Project reports that police officers can and will immediately resort to deadly force over a stop as simple as a taillight, as 4 students earlier this month who attend Virginia University and play on the football team learned as they were on their way to practice when they were targeted for revenue collection, harassment, and extortion for having a broken taillight. According to the students and several witnesses to the stop, one of the cops immediately pulled his gun and aimed it at the students. As video shows, the officer admitted to pulling the gun. He then attempted to justify it by claiming he smelled marijuana. The UK government's martial law option for Brexit would allow government ministers to impose curfews and travel bans, confiscate private property, and deploy the armed forces to any UK location of their choosing. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. It's simple. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the weekend edition of the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
After logging onto the Xbox One game console at one of his classmates' homes, 12-year-old Michael Cutler admitted to reporters this week that he really does not have the slightest clue about what his friend's name could be.
I mean, his name might be Brian. No, wait, Brian's my other friend, the one with the PS4. Yeah, if I'm being totally honest, there's no way I can tell you his name. Not a chance.
Noting that the boy had, quote, an absolutely huge HD TV and a bunch of games his mom won't let him play, Cutler confirmed that he could recall only the faintest details about his friend, including the fact that his mother makes chocolate chip cookies and that he has a dog of some kind.
He's got Killer Instinct, Assassin's Creed, Battlefield 4, and Titanfall? Man, that game's awesome. Anyway, I've just been calling him Flamethrower because that's his gamer tag. Hopefully he doesn't catch on. Hey, can I stick around for a few more hours? I'm so close to beating this.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We are launching into the second hour of the program. As always, you're invited here if you want to join us. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. You will sound almost like you're sitting in the studio with us if you're on our Discord server. So go to discord.lrn.fm. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
Coming up, the New Zealand shooter, the person who slaughtered dozens of innocent, peaceful people about a week, was it a week ago now at this point? A week and a day or so? That person's manifesto, the 74-page meme-filled manifesto that this person wrote, is now being officially classified as so-called objectionable by the chief censor in New Zealand. That's right. If you didn't know, New Zealand has a chief censor. Censorship is a thing there, and it has been for quite a long time.
It is verboten?
It is, and we can tell you more about that coming up here.
Why does a German accent sound so much more authoritarian?
Let's go to Mark first, though, because you can bring up whatever you want. In the last hour, we were discussing this Patriarchy chicken game that a obsessed college professor has been playing as she's been walking to work through train stations and such. Mark, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
So I'm listening to what she had to say about her, and she sounds like she's being really aggressive trying to get through crowds of people, kind of in your face. Is that kind of what's going on there?
She says that she will not give way. She doesn't according to the story that she wrote, she doesn't appear to be attempting to get in people's way, but she simply will not move.
Well, it's inevitable that she's going to be in somebody's way because of the packed conditions of where she is.
Yeah.
Well, so I'll just give you an example. I'm 5'8". I've been told I'm a short guy. Well, I learned something a long time ago from my mother, who is 5'2", real tiny lady. So if we're in a packed area, things are busy, and it's kind of like what some of your other callers were saying. People don't pay attention to anything outside, what they're doing right then and there. So if things are crowded, my mom always used assertiveness and politeness just to get where she was going. And you don't have to be a guy. You don't have to be big. You don't have to be, trying to get in somebody's way or trying to get someplace. All you got to do is just go about your business and say, hey, excuse me, can I come through? And just keep going. And people will realize, hey, somebody's there, I'm in the way, and they'll move. Just good common sense helps in a lot of those situations.
Yeah, I mean, most people are relatively kind and good, and when they are brought to attention, if they're in their oblivious state, if you can somehow snap them out of it, get their attention, then they will usually realize, oh, whoops, I did put my cart in your way. I'm so sorry, and they'll move, whatever.
Yeah, one thing I learned as a kid, or maybe growing out of being a kid, is that I would be quiet and I had a high-pitched voice. For one, older people have have more difficulty hearing a higher pitched tone anyway, so a kid's going to be more difficult to hear. But I mean, you just got to say, excuse me, and do it as nicely as you can. You don't want to be mean about it or anything like that, but just say excuse me, and things tend to work out pretty well. I've just looked up the average height of an American man. Looks like 5'8" is average.
Oh, I'm average.
Yeah,
that's nice to know.
It's better to be average.
Yeah. So I guess what they're lacking over there in the UK is just a little bit of politeness and common sense, maybe. But it seemed like, from what I'm hearing from most of your callers, is
people can't relate.
Be polite, have common sense, and people are generally they're good people, like you said.
Not one caller has been able to relate to this woman, the professor who is obsessed with clashing with men on her walk to work. And Mark, thanks for calling and sharing your thoughts here tonight. I appreciate it. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Let's change gears. Get into New Zealand.
So before you go on, that kind of, do you feel like I can X out the I'm completely oblivious to my own and my male friends' behavior, since we have now asked at least a half a dozen people who have called in and had their opinions? I think we're narrowing down to she's crazy. Well,
things
could be different
option.
the things could be different in London.
That is still an option.
Still an option.
Sure. I mean, it is dreary there. Maybe people are really mean.
It's also multinational. Like, it's about as multinational as a city gets.
Sure.
So you have lots of different people with lots of different opinions on how, gender stereotypes work and all that other stuff. I'm not willing to let that necessarily go, but I can tell you I started from a position of defensiveness. This whole, whenever anyone uses the term patriarchy, and if Dr. Riley ever listens to this and manages to hear her fame on national radio on 200 radio stations, hey, the word patriarchy is offensive. Right off the bat, it starts people off on the wrong foot.
It suggests that men are in charge, men are in control.
Right. I don't live in a world where men are in charge or men are in control. I just don't.
Your wife controls the finances.
Right. My wife runs the books in the house. She also runs the house, basically, and I work from home. So, she doesn't bother me about my business and the things I do. She doesn't want anything to do with it, but she runs her household. I was raised in a household with two women, my mother and my grandmother. My dad worked and was out of the house most of the day, 80 hours a week he was working. So I went to a school where every single teacher in my elementary school was a woman. Most of them throughout my high school and middle school career were women. I worked in several jobs where women were the boss. I don't know what somebody's talking about when they talk about the patriarchy. So what it feels like is it feels like an unfair accusation to me, and lots of men that I know feel the same way. I am sure that there are households across America and around the world where women are subjugated and treated poorly. I am not a fool. I don't necessarily, but when you use the patriarchy, it sounds like a very overarching term. And I kind of think that we've handled whatever the patriarchy problem is. Yeah. That's how I feel anyway.
Well, didn't they find out recently at Google that actually men were getting paid less than women there?
Right. They found out that when Google went through to check on its pay, that women on average were getting paid more than men doing the same work in the same hours. So, a lot of the problems that people who claim to be feminists have to do with pay discrepancies, and they continue to forward this notion that women are getting paid less. And it is true that women will be paid less. It's also true they work fewer hours and are more likely to call in.
So let's change gears here. We got New Zealand, the latest on the shootings, the horrifying, slaughter of 50 innocent, peaceful people there in Christchurch, New Zealand last week. We've already seen the stories about young men getting arrested. One, I think it was 18, another 22 years old, being arrested for simply possessing and or sharing the video of the shootings, which has been taken down left and right by sites like Facebook and YouTube. We even found that the DTube, which is supposed to be a censorship-free platform, even took down one of the links to the video there. So we know that the folks over in New Zealand are not fans of freedom of speech, the government there, and presumably a lot of the people there agree because this is how they were raised. They were raised in a society where they weren't allowed to have freedom of speech.
Certain things are just not said.
And according to Chief Censor David Shanks, in a story from radionz.co.nz.
Before you go on, Reporters Without Borders ranks New Zealand 8th as freedom of the press.
My God.
United States is something like 40. United States is 45th.
I don't even understand how that could be possible.
They don't value it the same way that you do. They've got a liberal bias that says that a more liberal country can't possibly be saying anything wrong.
A publication reportedly written by the man accused of the Christchurch shootings has been officially classified as objectionable by the chief censor. The document has been examined under the Films, Videos, and Publications Classification Act and was deemed objectionable for a number of reasons. Chief Censor David Shanks says others have referred to the publication as a manifesto, but he considers it a, quote, crude booklet.
A crude booklet. It is not a manifesto. It is a crude booklet.
Which promotes murder and terrorism. Mr. Shanks says this publication crosses the line to make it objectionable under New Zealand law. We'll tell you more about that coming up here in moments. Your calls and thoughts welcome on censorship or, feminism or whatever it is that's on your mind. You can take control of the airwaves here. 855-450, free like freedom. It's Free Talk Live. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? One? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is, the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called helpmetakebitcoin.com, and it's a place you can send any business, and they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. helpmetakebitcoin.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. It's a live Saturday edition of the show. Open phones as always. You can bring up whatever is on your mind. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. Just get on over to the Discord server over at discord.lrn.fm. It is pretty easy to get in there and then join one of those top 4 rooms. The on-air call-in lines. We'll see you there. We'll join you in there, and you'll sound like you're sitting here in the studio with me, Ian.
And me, Mark.
Bitcoin.com is your premier source for everything Bitcoin related. I know Bitcoin's been around for a decade now, and you might feel like you've missed the boat, that it's too late. It's not.
I don't believe it is.
I suspect.
No.
This is, the world of money. 10 years is a drop in the bucket. This thing is just getting started.
So, many people would say that Bitcoin, it had this big run up last year. It's been 12 months, and it's holding pretty steady at this point as far as pricing goes. Now, I don't think pricing is the end-all, be-all of this technology. This technology is likely to me, and lots of other people believe the same thing, the greatest advance we've seen in currency in our lifetimes, and likely since the creation of paper money. It's the biggest invention since the internet itself. And, one would want to get on board relatively early. This is still, think of the internet at 10 years out. That's where Bitcoin's at now. I think
most people at 10 years out on the internet hadn't even heard of it.
Yeah, if they had heard of it, they didn't. They considered it to be too complicated for them and not practical for life. Just not going to go anywhere. Paul Krugman, I believe, has said something like the fax machine is a greater piece of technology than the internet will ever be, or something like that. I hope I don't have that quote too far off.
It sounds familiar. So go to Bitcoin.com. It's not too late to get in on this thing and learn about the basics. They've got a great Bitcoin Academy over there at Bitcoin.com. Plus, there's news headlines at their news site at news.bitcoin.com. You can engage with the community on their Bitcoin forum, learn how to choose a Bitcoin wallet, buy some Bitcoin, and find out where you can spend it over at Bitcoin.com. As we go to more of your calls and thoughts coming up, we'll continue on the crackdown, the continuing crackdown. This isn't anything new in New Zealand. The crackdown on freedom of speech, because there is no freedom of speech there. There's official government censors. That's a job that they have in the New Zealand government. It's anathema to us here in the United States. It's shocking, but over there, I guess it's normal. We go first to Libertarian Banker listening online. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Libertarian Banker.
Hey guys, so the story out of New Zealand, I mean, I've been following this closely, and what cracks me up, and you guys talked about this too, is that this commission and these commissioners have made this video. You know, they've declared it illegal to watch.
That's right.
But I would guarantee that they sat in a room around a video screen, video from start to finish, in order to make that determination. So it's okay if they do it. If they sit in a room and their bureaucrats decide that this video is objectionable, well, they're not going to go to jail. But if you go online and click on this video and view it, you will.
See, that's the burden that they've taken on for themselves, the burden of the responsibility of having to watch all of these horrific things in order to protect people. Don't you see?
Well, that is the ridiculous statement that's being made right now. And you know, the slippery slope argument's an old one. It really is, but it holds
It's
true
also called a logical fallacy.
Tell me that. Tell me about that.
The slippery slope argument is considered a logical fallacy because we slip a little bit doesn't mean that we will slip a lot necessarily. But you know, people use it regularly, and one of the reasons that it's considered an argument that people use is because, yeah, some slopes are slippery. It's just that just because some slopes are slippery, not all are.
Well, but when it comes to the government, it's normally when we'll use it, as in like, oh, the government shouldn't do X because it's a slippery slope, and then you're going to see them do Y and Z later. That's just kind of the nature of the state. You know, slippery slope is just a way to get people to kind of, it's colloquialism, I think, to get people to understand what you're saying. The longer way of explaining it is once the government starts to do a thing, they do more of that thing and they get worse, meaning doing it more invasively or whatever, more expensive. The government continues to destroy freedom because people allowed it to take a little bit of freedom in the beginning, whether we're talking about business regulations or whether we're talking about, you know, the unending taxation that we're all subjected to in, you know, all the various different political jurisdiction of the world. It's, you know, it is definitely a slippery slope when it comes to government because they don't ever go back. You know, they don't take a step in one direction and then decide they've made a mistake and then go back the other way. Almost never.
Once they have a board of about 10 bureaucrats, well, man, we need 11. That'll be the tiebreaker, right? And then we need 12, and then we need 13, and it just keeps going on and going on until they have, you know, a whole bureaucracy of people that go around viewing offensive videos and deeming them, you know, unworthy. The slippery slope is not so dangerous as in they are going to take away. It's that they're going to waste your damn money. You know, looking at this video,
right?
They're going to create a government program because of this.
Right, chasing wild geese.
Just to be clear, the government program already exists. It's the 1993 Films, Videos, and Publications Classification Act in New Zealand, which is just the latest version of censorship that has been imposed in that country for more than 100, maybe 200 years or something, basically since the beginning of New Zealand. There's, as I understand it, my brief research on it a few days ago, they've been censoring all kinds of things: T-shirts, books, music, movies, video games, you name it. Now apparently a manifesto, simple, you know, document. These things, this is not new. It's only new to us because we don't live there. We don't have the experience of this.
Well, to be fair, the movie itself fits the definition.
The shooting video?
Yeah, the shooting video fits the definition of what would be called a snuff film in the United States, which is illegal. It is illegal to have a snuff film in the United States.
Is it really?
It's my understanding. I'm looking online here, and all the evidence is that that is true.
Is this under the obscenity rules?
I don't know. I don't think it's under the obscenity rules. I think there's a specific law.
Mark, so you're saying a snuff film is one where they show somebody dying.
Right. Somebody is being murdered intentionally on a video for the purposes of creating a video. Like, they're not being murdered. It's because you can see all kinds of videos in the United States of somebody being murdered.
Sure, like the U.S. military murdering people. Oh, wait, it's not murder when they do it. The U.S. military killing people, for instance.
If the video is created for the purpose of showing, a video, of creating a video, right? Like somebody's killed for the purpose of creating the video.
Do you think there's some sort of commercial? Maybe there's a commercial purpose there.
Well, in a lot of cases, they're sold, and usually there's a torture aspect that goes with it. And honestly, if you take the definition, and I don't like to go here, but it's the God's honest truth, is that child pornography sits in the same genre. It's a crime that's occurring and being videotaped, and then the video becomes a crime. So, I mean, interesting in places around the world, armed robberies, a video of an armed robbery isn't a problem. But it is if it's like murder.
Banker, if you want to continue the conversation, you can hang on. We'll do that here. Mark, according to at least an article written in 2012 at TheVerge.com, it says here it is illegal to murder someone, illegal to watch somebody get murdered and not report it, but it's not illegal to watch an online snuff film, at least not at the moment. We can get into it a little bit further here, but again, this was 2012, so if you're saying it's changed recently...
I'm not.
Okay, more coming up here in moments. It's Free Talk Live.
Homemakers. Groceries by mail ships free. Try our amazing bacon. It stores in your pantry. No refrigeration required. Our value-added packaging provides a 10-year shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Always priced less than grocery for your everyday use. Savory and delicious. Order today at ReadyToEatBacon.com. ReadyToEatBacon.com.
Join me, George Norrie, in Indian Wells, California, May 31st to June 3rd for the Contact in the Desert UFO Conference, an epic weekend of exploration into ancient aliens, human origins, crop circles, and UFO sightings. More than 100 lectures, panels, workshops, and events with leading experts like Giorgio Tsoukalos, David Wilcock, Linda Moulton Howe, Eric Von Daniken, Doc Wallach, and so many more. Get your tickets today at contactinthedesert.com. It's time to make contact. Contactinthedesert.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Good morning. Later this afternoon, I will be engaging in an extramarital affair. Of course, I will wish that I had never made the horrible mistake I'm about to spend several hours making, but sadly, I'm currently too blinded by greed and lust to care about or consider the consequences of my actions. The liaison I will be taking part in shortly with two poor deaf teenage runaways is in direct opposition to the values you elected me to uphold. I also wish to apologize to my wife, Linda, to my two beautiful children, Allison and Christopher. It hurts me more than you will ever know that this scandal will impact your life so terribly. I can only pray that the revelations you will soon hear concerning my fetishes, physical flexibility, and penis will not scar you to the point of dementia. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get to the hotel immediately, so I will not be taking questions. Thank you.
This is the Onion News Network.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can join us on the radio here. Our toll-free number for you is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Well, I wasn't expecting to end up talking about snuff films tonight, but I guess it's a legitimate place to go after having discussed the New Zealand censors and how they are now going to be censoring not just the video of what happened with the shooting, the horrific shooting down in Christchurch, New Zealand, late last week, but also the I'm spacing on the name of it. The Manifesto. The Manifesto, the 74-page manifesto that was written.
The bureaucrat called it a booklet.
He called it a crude booklet. And so they're now going to make that illegal, punishable by up to 14 years in prison if you are found knowingly possessing or sharing said objectionable material in New Zealand. And libertarian banker is on the line with us here. We're going to get back to him and his thoughts. Banker, you're back with us. So I was doing we're both doing a little bit of searching there, Mark, and you said that you found a story about a Supreme Court that overturned in the U.S.
No, that was a story about animal cruelty videos.
Oh, okay.
So it maybe snuff films are legal in the United States. This is not.
2012 Verge article says that it is legal to watch an online snuff film. Now, it doesn't say to possess the actual file. It doesn't address that, but I suspect that it would be legal.
I would imagine if you were involved in producing a snuff film, that's accessory to murder.
Well, yeah, if you're producing it, that's a whole other story, because most snuff films are fake, first and foremost. But if there actually is a real snuff film, then you're talking about really extinguishing someone's life on video. And yeah, if you're involved in that, you're absolutely guilty of conspiracy to commit murder.
You're just an idiot because you just shared your evidence of the crime to the public.
So I would say that it's likely that a snuff film is highly illegal to possess in a place like New Zealand.
And Canada, by the looks of it.
But probably legal to possess. But again, we're not attorneys, so this isn't legal advice.
And if you want any moral advice, don't look at snuff films. It looks awful.
That's sick. Yeah, it's pretty sick. But some people, they're into weird stuff.
My ultimate point with, I think, calling in, and sorry to interrupt you there, but was to just talk about the government bureaucracy. And I told your culture, and I was calling about something different, but when I sat on the line there, I thought of, I really wanted to talk about this New Zealand shooting thing. But, the government bureaucracy surrounding banning video, banning content, banning free speech, I mean, it just never ends, man. I mean, how can you hire enough agents to monitor thoughts, the internet, file sharing? I mean, you can't. You cannot. And
as a viewer, by the way, you can't possibly. As a viewer, you couldn't possibly know whether what you are watching is a real snuff film or a fake snuff film. I mean, you may have an opinion about it, but you wouldn't really know for sure. So could you even knowingly possess something like that?
I remember in the 90s and maybe even the early aughts, you'd find a few news stories out there that were talking about these young men that would watch certain movies over and over again. I think Boys in the Hood was mentioned at least once, and then went out and committed crimes. And somehow they watched the movies and then became
crazy.
Yeah, they got amped up on the movies, and they went out and did stuff. So when you presume...
Didn't people think comic books were doing that to young boys back in the day?
They made the very same claim about comics in the 50s, and that's how we got the Comics Code Authority back then. And I'm not entirely ready to dismiss the notion that movies cause people to act in certain ways. I'm just asking whether or not we want the society where we ban everything that we think might cause somebody to act in a certain way. I mean, there's your slippery slope argument.
And it ultimately comes down to who decides that. I mean, how does this person who got hired for a government job making, $80,000 a year, ultimately going to decide what me and my kids should watch?
They have to, in New Zealand, they have to determine whether or not it is damaging to the community, basically. And that's completely arbitrary based on the opinion of whoever the censor is at that moment.
Exactly.
Thanks, Libertarian Banker, for your call tonight. I appreciate it.
I can tell you my wife and I disagreed on a particular movie that my son and I watched. So the movie was 300. Did you ever see this, Ian?
Yeah. I feel like I have at some point.
Yeah, so it was.
I know what it's about.
Yeah, it's a movie of a comic book adaptation of the fight at Thermopylae, where the 300 Spartans
they held off a big army or something. Right.
By the way, it was 300 Spartans, but it was a lot of people from a lot of other city-states too. Regardless, it doesn't make a difference. The Spartans really won that as far as a PR battle. And they lionize King Leonidas in this, and it's a great movie. There's absolutely, I never got to see the second one. I probably should because I really enjoyed the first one, but it's got a lot of fake gore in it, and I mean, it's not terribly gory, but like sort of blood splatters and those sorts of things. And my wife didn't want my son seeing it. I'm like, it'll be fine. And at this point, he hasn't grown up to torture rodents or anything like that. But I mean, people worry about when kids should see stuff. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying I got my way. He hasn't seen Big Lebowski, though.
There's an interesting story here. So the story that had the detail that I mentioned to you, Mark, about saying that it's not illegal to watch a snuff film in the United States, comes out of a much larger piece written by Leslie Anderson at The Verge. Snuff: Murder and Torture on the Internet and the People Who Watch It. I don't know if we want to get into it, but maybe
I don't want to read the whole thing.
Maybe later.
For me, I have watched some of these films that have come out of, usually it's somebody, a hostage being killed, and they're sending
like
a message.
The ISIS.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
I heard they lost their final territory this morning on the radio.
Oh, no, I hadn't heard that. Yeah. I heard that the Mueller investigation came out, and, everybody's all aflutter over what it says, but there's not going to be any additional arrests. So it sounds like all this hullabaloo for the last 2 years about Trump getting arrested is a bunch of horse crap.
Okay.
And, I mean, come on. The person in the most powerful position in the world is going to be arrested? Come on.
No, it's not going to happen.
Doesn't make any sense.
A little bit more on this censorship story for you from radionz.co.nz, where Chief Censor in New Zealand, David Shanks, says the publication, meaning the manifesto, the 74-page manifesto by the alleged shooter down there, crosses the line to make it objectionable under New Zealand law.
The line we have drawn, he says, it crosses it.
Yep, he says, quote, "There is an important distinction to be made between hate speech, which may be rejected by many right-thinking people, but which is legal to express, and this type
in New Zealand,
and this type of publication, which is deliberately constructed to inspire further murder and terrorism," he said. He recognized the publication had been widely reported on during the past week, with media publishing commentary on it and, on occasion, making it available through links or downloadable copies. Quote, "Most New Zealanders who've read this will find it repellent, but most New Zealanders are not the target audience." Shanks said, quote, "It is..."
Sorry, we can't let any of you read this because some people may be affected.
He says it is aimed at a small group who may be receptive to its hateful, racist, and violent ideology, and who may be inspired to follow the example set by its apparent author. Unquote. Those who have the publication for legitimate purposes, such as reporters, researchers, and academics, to analyze and educate, can apply for an exception.
Oh, you could apply for an exception.
Right.
Okay, first off, everybody's a reporter now because everybody has a Facebook account. I mean, it's called a news feed, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Anything you write on there is news for a certain audience. So now, obviously, if you don't put in the application, you have a particular problem. You haven't filled out our paperwork, sir. But other than that, I mean, come on, everybody's a reporter.
Anyone who sees the material online is being asked to report it immediately. That's right. Snitch on your neighbors. Snitch on your fellow webmasters there in New Zealand. We got to put these people in prison and teach them a lesson.
I don't think you should share this in order to fly in this guy's face, but this guy's a jerk.
Yeah, I of course would completely advocate that people share things around because you should be free to do those things. Of course, going to prison for 14 years is a bit of a dissuasive factor.
Deterrent, yes.
There in New Zealand. If you want to comment on censorship, do you want to see censorship brought about here in the United States? 855-450-FREE, like freedom.
Crimes of the Crown by Captain Mark. The Crown casts the world in shadow and claims to be our guiding light. Cowards clamor for security from boogeymen and ghost stories. While I say these hobgoblins are imaginary, I say those they propped up as our liberators are now subsisting on our bondage. I say there is freedom in the black, and that's exactly where we intend to go. The Crown banishes its own officers for exposing its crimes and tortures dissidents to the brink of madness. It dominates the globe and swallows the wealth of generations, leaving only blood and excrement. The Crown calls it piracy to explore frontiers beyond its grasp. So the time has come for us to define the conduct among pirates. I say the Crown has trampled our necks long enough. Need decentralized solutions to centralized problems? Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels? Or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com. We won't be hard to find.
Anytime, any place, anywhere, radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
You haven't experienced yogurt until you've tried a Mossy, embodying health and flavor in a true whole milk, green-fed dairy beverage. Every sip pays homage to our old world cows and the ancient culturing methods their milk benefits from. With over 30 probiotics, a Mossy's undeniably nutritious, refined, cultured sensation bolsters your health and awakens your passion for dairy. A Mossy's so good, and you need to try it. Contact your Youngevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your get intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll free if you want to join us here. You may. and you can take control of the airwaves. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Been talking about censorship in New Zealand, and I wonder how many people in the United States want this? How many people here inside the United States boundaries would love to see a U.S. office of censor, a head censor, a censor bureaucrat, some top dog to decide what is and what is not right and wrong, and what it is that people should and should not be able to possess. Why don't we have this?
I can tell you this. I think I'd speak for everybody in America that people should be able to possess the things that I do like and should not be able to possess the things that I don't like.
Well, you would be perfect for the job then of U.S. censor.
That's right. I should decide. By the way, all your sports teams that I don't like, they're out of here.
Unfortunately, we can joke about it here because we have some semblance of freedom of speech. Not perfect. It's not perfect. I mean, there was, you remember that pornographer, I think he called Max Hardcore was his stage name.
Was his name, yeah.
He actually went to prison during, was it Bush and Obama, I think?
Bush.
But Obama didn't pardon him or anything like that. So.
Well, no. I mean, who's going to pardon a pornographer?
Yeah. So they did put him in prison, and I think that was incredibly wrong of them to do. So it is not perfect in the United States, but we do have a lot more freedom to say things. I mean, I think even in Canada, there's a lot that you just can't even say on the radio, more so than here in the United States. So we do have it pretty good as far as freedom of speech, all things considered, unlike New Zealand, where there's literally a bureaucrat and he's got underlings as well.
Chief censor.
Yeah, there's the chief censor.
Well, you can't have a chief censor without underlings. Censor, yeah.
So, and they decide, whether you can see a movie, whether you can listen to a musical release, whether you can even have a T-shirt. At one point they banned, according to Wikipedia, they banned the Cradle of Filth band's T-shirt from being distributed. It's like, heavy metal band or something like that. Maybe it's death metal or something like that. It's something pretty heavy, I think. But there was some sort of offensive picture involving Jesus and probably something terrible happening. Sure. And they censored that however many years ago that it was. So if you want to join us, you can.
So I remember, you're familiar with this, the Avengers
I know it exists. I mean, I've never seen any of them.
Well, you did get to see Doctor Strange recently.
I loved it.
Yeah. Doctor Strange, by the way, if you want to get involved in the 22 film long Marvel arc, Doctor Strange is a great one for entering into it because you don't have to like superheroes to enjoy the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah.
Regardless, Doctor Strange...
If you like mushrooms, you'll enjoy the Doctor Strange movie.
Well, I never considered it that way. The Doctor Strange movie is...
and by that, I mean psychedelic mushrooms.
Yeah, could you stop? Because you're blowing me off my track here.
Sorry.
Doctor Strange gets tortured, spoiler alert, I don't care, in the year-old Avengers Infinity War. And it's just a brief scene. But that scene was banned, I believe, in Saudi Arabia, and I think it was 40 other countries around the world.
So they cut that one scene out, huh?
Yeah, or they did something otherwise. But that scene is controversial. Now, he's being tortured with imaginary items. It's not like somebody's taking a scalpel and cutting him or anything like that.
But there's been plenty of torture scenes in various movies over the years. I imagine those were also banned.
I can only presume, but this is a blockbuster and it's recent. And it's kind of interesting that because of that, and by the way, that was in the trailers too, that was occurring. So not too much of a spoiler. But yeah, he was that was banned in many countries because they won't have torture in their movies at all.
So if you want to join the discussion, the toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Let's go to Andrew listening in Indianapolis to WIBC FM. Hello, Andrew.
Hi. I don't remember the exact quote, but shortly after that New Zealand massacre, I saw something where the Manifesto had said things to the effect of, the reason I selected firearms was because I wanted to create reason to have gun laws passed, and the reason I did this, was to create division and disruption, which of course any terrorist is doing. I think it's interesting that they want to suppress his manifesto. One of the reasons might be because they're doing exactly what he told them to do by banning guns.
Well, I mean, New Zealand is definitely cracking. It sounds like they're going to crack down even further on semi-automatic weapons. They already have some, obviously some regulations that are in place. But if I recall correctly,
handguns are basically illegal.
Didn't he also want to have the U.S. ban guns? Didn't he want that?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did. And he was hoping at least to get registration, because that's really the key. They get registration under the guise of a background check, which they don't really care about and they know won't work. But they really want registration, because then once they've done that, the cat's out of the bag, and all they've got to do is pass a law in a moment of frenzy, and they can ban everything.
Then they can confiscate.
I haven't read this manifesto because I don't tend to want to spend
74 pages.
Well,
I mean,
what doesn't mean that it's single space typed. It's full of memes too.
It's mostly typed from what I looked at. It's not like photographic.
It's my understanding is he said just about everything in this and contradicted himself in the process. So, maybe he's looking for this, or maybe he's looking for the fight that would ensue if banning and registration attempted to be there's something they attempted to do that in the United States. It's not going to happen, not under Trump's watch, I don't think. It doesn't seem like he's ready to give that up. So I don't know what I think about this crazy guy's screeds.
Andrew, anything else you want to share?
Nope. I just hope we don't ever go down that registration path.
Well, every other place in the world has.
Thanks, dude. Thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733.
They're not going to go after banning guns, because at some point you'll be able to print guns on a 3D printer, and they're going to fail at that.
You already can.
They're going to go after bullets.
You can already print guns on a 3D printer.
I understand, but you'll be able to do it en masse.
We go to Bob in Indianapolis, listening to WIBC as well. Hello, Bob.
Hey, thank you. Hey, I just want to bring up something. You talk about censorship, and some things are just too obscene to look at.
Yeah.
What about what's the main symbol of the Catholic Church? A man nailed to a cross with blood dripping out of him and out of his head.
That's pretty obscene.
How offensive is that? He's naked and hung to a cross. That's pretty offensive.
Nearly naked.
But anyway,
yeah. I mean, that is sick. To pound somebody's hands and feet into anything is a pretty sick thing to do, and to put that on display.
But that's okay. It's okay to look at that every day, right? In paintings and on the cross, that's okay.
Yeah, I think you make a pretty good point. I wouldn't say that it's exclusive to the Catholic Church. There's plenty of churches with those crosses.
Well, yeah, but it's obscene. That's obscene, I think. But anyway, I don't know anything. I'm a 59-year-old white man. I'm stupid. Thank you.
Thanks for the call, Bob. I appreciate it. The toll-free number
That's
here.
how we should end up every call. Shut up, white guy.
855-450-3733. So, I mean, that's pretty much the news out of New Zealand. They've had censorship. It's not a new thing. I was looking on our Discord server to see if I know somebody posted the link to the manifesto, but searching for manifesto just pulled up people talking about the manifesto, and it didn't actually. It's there somewhere. So
pulling it up during the show isn't going to be useful anyway, because you have to have sat down.
But I wanted to reshare it. I wanted to, considering it's illegal now in New Zealand, I wanted to reshare it on our, like Facebooks and stuff like that, or I guess not the Facebooks, but Twitters and various different social medias and such. So I'll see if I'll continue to dig for it, and keep an eye on our Twitter over at twitter.freetalklive.com. Also, we've got the decentralized competitor to Twitter, which is called Mastodon. You can go to that at toot.freetalklive.com, or follow us on Telegram at telegram.freetalklive.com. So, Mark, coming up here tonight, you've got a story from the Foundation for Economic Education about poor people. We're told about how awful it is to be poor, and I certainly would not want to be poor in any country of the world. But, of course, being poor in the United States tends to be a bit of a different situation compared
not exactly what poverty is around the rest of the world.
If you've got 5 televisions and 3 cell phones and, air conditioning and heat, you're doing a lot better as a poor person in the U.S. than, say, a poor person in North Africa, for instance. But there's a story that you wanted to share from the Foundation for Economic Education over at fee.org about some of the poorest people in the world and how they're getting richer in a shocking
they're getting richer faster than anyone else is getting richer.
That's coming up. First, we go to Greg, listening in Indianapolis to WIBC. Hello, Greg. Hey, you're on the air.
Yes.
I don't know what. Are you on like a speakerphone or something?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Much better now, but we're going to put you on hold and come back to you. So stand by, Greg. We'll get right back there with Greg, and your calls and thoughts are welcome. Speakerphones might be convenient, not great for radio, though.
Yep,
855-450-3733. If you're driving, pull over, and we'll get you on the air and talk to you about whatever's on your mind. Coming up in hour number 3, we got poor people getting richer, and we'll tell you more about it on the way. It's Free Talk Live.
I'm Andy Snyder, author of the hit new book, Nature's Miracles. I just released the stunning details of a simple 30-second natural cure to things like erectile dysfunction, high blood pressure, joint pain, and possibly even cancer. In a word, this cure works. And it's all because of new evidence that proves things like ED are not just another case of bad luck. No, they're caused by our modern diet. And here's the stunning part. I found you don't need to change your diet if you want to beat these ailments. You simply need to add something to it. I recently published the recipe for the perfect drink, and for a limited time, I'm giving it away for free at perfectdrinkrecipe.com. The 3 cheap, all-natural ingredients found in this delicious drink can help fight some of this country's top killers. Doctors are stunned, and you'll love the results. All the details of the perfect drink are at my website. Just go to perfectdrinkrecipe.com. Again, that's perfectdrinkrecipe.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with the weekend edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,313, silver at $15.42, and Bitcoin is trading around $3,985. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, the 31st U.S. Marine Expeditionary Unit seized a tiny island and airfield with Special Operations airmen and soldiers as part of a new island hopping strategy. The Mind Unleashed reports that the military last week conducted a series of simulated military exercises, attacking and seizing Lashima Island, located off the northwest coast of Okinawa Island in the East China Sea. The new military strategy, known as Expeditionary Advanced Base Operations, will allow Marine units to seize, establish, and operate multiple small bases across the Pacific Ocean, a tactic that will be beneficial in a high-end fight with China. The United States government is withholding $5 billion, meant for the purchase of medicines and raw materials used in medical production, President Nicolas Maduro claimed on Wednesday. The anti-media reports Maduro denounced the move by U.S. authorities, saying the U.S. kidnapped the money in one of the most criminal, brutal, fascist economic measures which has been seen in the economic history of the world. Quote, Trump is the person responsible, end quote. U.S. and European governments have been working on freezing Venezuelan assets in recent months, as well as $1.2 billion worth of gold held in the Bank of England. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybrainbotanicals.com. And right now, Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the weekend edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow. New Zealand police Friday revealed that they had met with accused Christchurch mosque shooter Brenton Tarrant in October 2017 as part of a routine home inspection connected to his purchase of the guns used in the March 15th attacks that left 50 dead. Activist Post reports that Tarrant was interviewed in October 2017 while the firearms vetting team carried out a security inspection of his home. 2 New Zealand residents were listed as references, who were also interviewed by police and met the requirements of the process. Tarrant legally purchased several guns in December 2017, including 2 semi-automatic rifles, 2 shotguns, and a lever-action firearm used in the mosque attacks, which had been inscribed with anti-Islamic writings. In the land of the free, failing to realize your taillight is burned out can be a potentially deadly mistake. The Free Thought Project reports that police officers can and will immediately resort to deadly force over a stop as simple as a taillight, as 4 students earlier this month who attend Virginia University and play on the football team learned as they were on their way to practice when they were targeted for revenue collection, harassment, and extortion for having a broken taillight. According to the students and several witnesses to the stop, one of the cops immediately pulled his gun and aimed it at the students. As video shows, the officer admitted to pulling the gun. He then attempted to justify it by claiming he smelled marijuana. The UK government's martial law option for Brexit would allow government ministers to impose curfews and travel bans, confiscate private property, and deploy the armed forces to any UK location of their choosing. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. It's simple. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the weekend edition of the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Several weeks after the car accident that resulted in the death of his longtime friend Matthew Abrams, local man Keith Bisbee told Onion reporters today that he isn't sure how much longer he should continue using the photo of his deceased friend as his profile picture on Facebook.
People can't really expect me to keep this up forever, right?
Bisbee told reporters he felt like he had done more than his part to preserve the young man's memory. Bisbee added, however, that he had no idea when to go about changing his profile picture.
I'm pretty sure nobody would judge me if I went ahead and changed the photo right now. Matt wouldn't expect me to still have a picture of him up. I mean, I wouldn't expect that of him. You know, I should just do it. Maybe I can go online later tonight when nobody's on. But his girlfriend gets home late from work. I don't really want to seem disrespectful. Maybe I could do it tomorrow morning, or...
At this time, Bisbee has reluctantly changed his profile picture to an image of a gay rights equal sign and is, quote, just waiting to see what happens next.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
For those of you just tuning in, we were most recently just discussing the censorship over in New Zealand that has been going on for generations. So it's nothing new, but it's new to us because, well, we really don't ever have any reason to talk about New Zealand, so we've never covered their censorship policies there before. And they've just recently added the Manifesto, the 74-page rambling screed by Tarrant Brenton, allegedly the shooter down there in New Zealand, called The Great Replacement. That is the title of his manifesto. And I was able to dig it up online. I found one site that was trying to charge 99 cents for it, but there are other sites that still have it and still have it for free. So I have downloaded it and subsequently uploaded it to our Discord server. So it is now being stored on the Discord server, and then I linked to that file, which I believe you don't need to be on the Discord to link to it. So I put that link to the file on our social media. So if you haven't seen it yet, and for whatever reason you want to read some crazy, then now you can. Just follow the Free Talk Live social media over at twitter.freetalklive.com or toot.freetalklive.com for our Mastodon server, and also telegram.freetalklive.com. We go to your calls and thoughts coming up. Being poor in the world, some of the poorest people in the world are getting wealthier at a surprising clip. And Mark, you're going to share that information with us on the way. But first, to the phones and to back to Greg in Indianapolis, listening to WIBC FM. Greg, I'm sorry we didn't have enough time for you in the last hour. Please, go ahead with your thoughts.
It's okay. Can you guys hear me all right?
Loud and clear. Go ahead.
All right. Well, my main problem with the New Zealand massacre response is the issue that they're having with the video of the massacre and trying to cover it and basically wipe the internet of it. And in that process, they've forced YouTube to change their search algorithms. So say that you're into football and you wanted to find out what football videos were posted today. You could search by day or by week, and you can't do that anymore. They completely disabled it.
I heard about that.
To control.
Now, that's something they did globally. It's not just affecting New Zealand. It's for everybody everywhere, right?
Oh, yeah, and it's not even like it's been for a day or two. It's been about a week now.
Wow.
And, what bothers me is
That's
it feels
awful.
like they're asking the world to stop. And I know that it's a tragedy. I'm not saying it's not. But we have more mass shootings in America than there are Marvel movies. And, I mean, it's something that we've kind of grown accustomed to. We don't ask the world to stop. And the other thing, real quick, their gun laws, obviously, I don't think they protected them. 50 people dead, not one of them was allowed to carry a gun for self-defense. If they were, one person could have stopped that and saved all of those people.
They actually arrested a guy that was part of this, one of the victims of the shooting for arming, what they quote unquote arming himself. Now, I don't know what that means, whether he had a gun on him or whether he picked something up. One guy definitely did pick something up. I haven't been able to, there's a lot of news that comes out. I haven't been able to determine who it was or anything like that. You just get news stories. I don't have arrest reports or anything like that. So it's difficult to see. But the idea that you would arrest somebody for, having successfully protected themselves, that's crazy.
Yeah. It is. It is crazy. And, I believe that we live in a world where we either need to, it sounds callous, but we either need to arm everybody or we need to get rid of all the guns in the world. And it's not possible. A gun's just a simple machine. We can't uninvent gunpowder.
Right.
So I think what it comes down to is giving people at least the option to arm themselves. But, that's what I believe in, and it makes me really sad to see the censorship and the, tyranny almost going on in New Zealand. It just makes me glad I don't live there.
Yeah, it's saddening, and I'm glad you pointed out that YouTube thing. I had thought maybe that would be a temporary thing that they did, taking down the ability to search recently, which if you're looking for breaking news on YouTube, that used to be a really handy feature. Or if some sort of news has broken, let's say, something happened, the police shooting somebody in, DC, you could look up police DC shooting, put it within the last 24 hours and see if somebody has put up video of the thing happening. And now that's been stripped, apparently, from the YouTube search. I don't see it on the site. I think you're absolutely right, Greg. The good news is, for somebody that knows what they're doing, there is a workaround. What you can do is you can just use the normal Google search. So if you go to google.com and then you type in the thing that you're looking for, there's the pull down that'll allow you, it says tools, and you can put on the tools the duration, the time frame, which can be the last 24 hours. And then if you really want to narrow it down, you can click the videos, that shows you only videos instead of searching the whole internet for the thing. So you can still do it that way.
It kind of shows the futility of it. Google owns YouTube, and so you can just bypass YouTube to go to Google. I think it's just silly, and it's almost like a childish response to something tragic. And it just makes me sad. I think that YouTube has a lot of potential. I think there's a lot of conspiracy theorists who are making claims about the video, and I don't necessarily personally believe them, but I do think that when you're not allowed to have free media, when you can't see what happened, when they're hiding the manifesto, you can't read what happened.
It just drives the conspiracy theory.
Credence to these conspiracy theories.
It drives it. The people, what are they pulling it down for?
What are they hiding?
What do they have to hide? Yeah. I mean, these are people that are already very worried about what somebody's hiding.
Yeah, and I've already heard the conspiracy theories coming out about this video. I mean, I heard it not online, but I've heard it from people in real life who have said things like, well, there wasn't enough blood in the video. There wasn't.
What do people know about real shootings? The answer is not much.
Yeah.
If you think you know about real shootings because you've seen some movies, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it looks like when a blood pack gets blown up in Hollywood.
Yeah. Another claim was, there wasn't any noise of shells hitting the floor. And I'm like, they were in a mosque, right? Usually those places are carpeted. But then somebody else claims that you can't see the shells flying out of the gun. I'm like, it's a low-resolution video. I don't know what it is that these people are expecting. At least the one that I saw was very low resolution.
Even blanks would have a shell come out, so...
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying there weren't shells, but they don't believe that there were because they couldn't see them in the video. That doesn't mean they weren't there. Go ahead.
It's like a confirmation bias. I mean, even if you give people the video, they're going to say, okay, well, this looks fake, this looks fake.
Right.
No matter what you do, they're going to find some reason to be right. But when you don't give people any information, I mean, that makes people who are normally logical and whatnot, that makes even them suspicious.
Yeah, great points tonight, Greg. Thanks for your call. I appreciate you hanging through the news to tell us all that. Thanks. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom.
I remember when some of the videos came out with the ISIS killings in the Middle East.
The beheadings and burnings and such.
Some of the first ones where they were killing people or talking about killing people, the first they would, say, I'm going to kill this guy, and then, maybe make a slight sawing motion with a knife across their throat, and then you saw nothing after that, and then, it's like, he's dead and stuff. They'd skip.
Oh, no. It wasn't that you saw nothing. The one that I recall with the sawing motion, they then skipped the actual cutting off portion and jumped to the head being placed on the body.
I don't remember that part specifically, but I remember thinking, this doesn't look entirely real.
Right.
And
the fact that they didn't include the gore made people believe that it wasn't real.
Right. So, here's somebody, I don't consider myself a conspiracy theorist. That, again, nobody does, and everybody is. But this video just didn't look real to me when they were doing the sawing part. I saw no blood, and I thought that was strange. So, yeah, people will always second-guess a video if they see it. I don't watch these things much anymore because I don't feel like it edifies my life. I don't need to see these videos in order to exclaim to my audience, it's awful. Ladies and gentlemen,
it was awful.
It's 50 people being shot. Yeah. It is awful.
It is awful. I don't know if all 50 are in the video that I saw, but there's a lot of people that are shot, and it's horrible. I did watch it because I felt like I needed to have the ability to comment on it on the air, and I was grateful that it was in low resolution because seeing it in HD would have made it all the more horrifying. If you want to comment, you're welcome to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. And for somebody to actually have seen that video and to continue to deny that it was real is just...
surprises.
It's shocking that somebody could just deny when you see those things happening that, they think it's some kind... What, they think they staged it with actors in the middle of Christchurch where people on the streets were being shot? Where the guy shoots out his own windshields as he's driving because he's shooting at people on the side of the roads? Really?
Ike was such a sweet, lovable animal, and people would want to pet him, and they'd come up, and they'd get close to him, and it would be this instant, my dad didn't want to touch him. It's like, ooh, get the stinky dog away from me.
Even after we'd give her a bath, she would still stink.
Very stinky, both bad breath and bad gas. I asked the vet, and he said some dogs are just stinky.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
The ingredients convinced me that it was definitely worth trying. After about a week, he started smelling normal. My husband and I were really kind of astonished.
Dinovite is nutrition.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale, totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of FreedomsPhoenix.com get every day. FreedomsPhoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. FreedomsPhoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, FreedomsPhoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to FreedomsPhoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, Phoenix.com. FreedomsPhoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISS Paris.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Join us here. The number 855-450 free like freedom. If you want to get on our live Saturday edition with you tonight, it's Ian
and Mark.
And the toll-free number, again, 855-450-FREE. We also have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. Just hop into any one of those top 4 rooms. We'll join you in there, and you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. Coming up in less than 3 months from now, it is ForkFest 2019. It's happening June 13th through the 18th, and it'll be at the beautiful Rogers Campground in the White Mountains of New Hampshire. It's a wonderful location, and the people that you're going to be around, voluntarists, liberty-loving anarchists, libertarians, people that care about freedom. It's a great decentralized camping event, meaning that no one is actually in charge. There's no board of directors. There's no organizer except for anybody who wants to organize whatever they want to organize, meaning that you've got your campsite. You decide what you want to do there. Do you want to just camp and hang out with other people? That's cool. Or you can create something for other people to do. So I know that Derek and Steven from AnyPay.global have announced they're going to be basically throwing a dance party every single night during ForkFest on their campsite. Jay Noon, who just happened to walk into the studio here, our Wednesday night co-host, is going to be putting on what he calls Man Camp. And there are other things that are in the works. I don't know what they're all going to be because I'm not in charge and nobody runs everything by me. So if you want to connect with the ForkFest community before, during, and after the event, just go to forkfest.party. There's a link there to the Telegram chat room and also the ForkFest forum where you can talk with other ForkFesters about what's going to happen. And who knows what'll all end up happening, but it's sounding like it's going to be a lot of fun so far. So mark your calendar and get your reservations locked in. One of the things they've been talking about in the chat room has been where everybody's reserving campsites. So campsites are already getting locked down for this time frame. In fact, they've been posting maps and like highlighting where they're going to be on the map and everything. So you probably shouldn't wait if you're going to attend. If you want to get a nice spot or whatever. Although of course the whole campground's beautiful, so you won't miss out either way. Go to forkfest.party as we go to your calls and thoughts. Let's start with Dwight, listening in South Carolina to LRN.FM. Go ahead, Dwight.
Hey, fuck you.
Oh, you can't say that on the radio, buddy. You must not realize you're actually on broadcast radio. So that's just not going to cut it. Sorry about that. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. We continue here.
Not saying we're a bunch of geniuses around here, but if you want to cuss us out, you're going to have to do a little more, you're going to have to go a little more in depth, right? Like, you can't just use the F-bomb. That's not going to work out here. But you can say we're a bunch of, morons. You can say we French kiss our moms. You can say all those things on the radio, but you can't say 4 specific words. Sorry.
No, there's more than 4. Probably several.
There's several you can't say on this show because news talk stations tend to have a higher threshold than regular radio.
Could be. Well, anyway, when in doubt, leave it out. That's generally a good rule when it comes to calling the radio. So we're going to continue with your calls and thoughts here. Of course, you can bring up absolutely anything that you want here on Free Talk Live. Coming up, Mark, you've got the story about getting richer. Poor people around the world actually getting richer at a unexpectedly fast clip. Apparently, we'll get into that on the way. But first, we go back to your calls and thoughts. It's Scott listening in Lynchburg, Virginia to WLNI-FM. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, y'all were talking about the guy that got arrested because he was defending himself at the, I guess, in New Zealand.
Yeah,
wait a minute.
The guy that armed himself, yeah.
Oh, that
armed
guy.
himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple years ago in New York City apparently has a law that you have to have a permit just to have a firearm in your house. Gentleman got out of the Navy. I think he was like a 9-year veteran. He gets out of the Navy, goes to one of those law firms. That law firm goes bust. He goes to another one. And in the meantime, somebody breaks in his house. He shoots the intruder. And when the police showed up, they took him to jail.
Oh, man. Yeah, get out of New York if you care about gun rights. I mean, if you really love gun freedom.
Care about yourself at all.
Yeah, right. If you care about freedom, I understand why people want to.
There's got to be some jobs where you just sort of have to be there. Sean Hannity
Wall Street
stuck around in New York City for a long time. Presumably,
he's not there anymore.
No, he has stuck around.
Has stuck around.
Yes.
Okay,
but Rush Limbaugh left it.
Yeah.
So I think that probably
Didn't Glenn Beck leave it too? Didn't he move to Texas or something?
I can't tell you where he's at. I know at one point he was in Philly.
Yeah, he's in Texas now.
Yeah. So good advice, Scott. Anything else you want to share tonight?
No, sir. That'll do it. Y'all have a good night.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate hearing from you. Let's go to Mary, listening to WMTM FM in Moultrie, Georgia. Hello, Mary.
Hi.
Hi. You're on the air.
Yeah. I know that they say there's not a law that you have to help somebody if they're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And but anyway, months ago, there was this handicapped guy in a wheelchair, and I know that they said these young men had videoed it, and so I'm just wondering if they, God knows I'm not false accusing, but do they know that these guys didn't help put him in that water so they could video it?
Okay, hold on. So what happened with the handicapped guy in the wheelchair?
Now, he was in water, so how did he get in the water? Because they said that I believe they said 3 young men had videoed it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were, saying, well, And they said...
Rather than helping him, what you're saying is the young men were videoing, maybe laughing, but not actually like diving in to help the man?
They would not help at all, and he was like pleading or begging for help.
That's
terrible.
Then
they had finally said that, well, he's dead, he's dead.
He died?
He did.
I feel like I recall this. Was this Florida? Where did this happen?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But it bothers me because I'll keep thinking about it. And I said, have they really, check those guys out and question them to make sure that they didn't help put him in the water. I'm not false accusing now.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying, and I vaguely recall there was this. I feel like there was this story in Florida, and there were like 3 teenage boys, of course, that were just laughing it up about somebody who was stuck in the water. Maybe this is the same story that you're talking about. It ended up being a news story, and these guys got some real negative press attention as a result of just acting like callous teenage boys, as you would expect many teenage boys to act in those circumstances, not even lifting a finger to try to help out this poor person who was trapped in the waters. Maybe they couldn't swim or what. I forget the reason why that person was there in the first place.
I believe they said he was in a wheelchair, but how did he get
Yeah, that sounds really hard
water?
to... how do you get from the side of the river into the middle of the river in a wheelchair? That does seem a little bit tricky. Hey, thank you for the call, Mary. I appreciate hearing from you. Of course, we shouldn't mandate that people have to get involved in a life or death circumstance to try to rescue somebody, but it sure is shocking when people stand around and laugh and don't do anything.
Yeah, let's not forget that the media itself has the ability to punish. Somebody's name being shown as misbehaving and that sort of thing. It has its own punishment.
That's true. The toll-free number tonight, if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves here. It's the live Saturday edition of Free Talk Live.
You've been hearing Dr. Wallach talking about 90 essential nutrients, keeping the body healthy. GCNteam.com now has Beyond Tangy Tangerine tablets, 60 plant-derived minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, packed in a powerful tablet. But that's not it. 160,000 auric points, a knockout punch to free radicals. Call 877-878-4203 or go to GCNteam.com. That's 877-878-4203.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists, get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Free speech is protected on the internet, right? Not always. Government agencies try to limit free speech and commerce on the net. Luckily, when they do, the Institute for Justice is there to defend your First Amendment right to free speech. IJ helped set the first federal precedent for internet free speech in 1999. And ever since has worked to prevent unconstitutional roadblocks in cyberspace. Visit our website today at ij.org.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, the live Saturday edition of the program. You can dial in toll-free here, and you can bring up anything that you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And the Discord on-air call-in line rooms are open and available to you over on our Discord server at discord.lrn.fm. Something else that we've been promoting recently is our Twitch channel. If you haven't had a chance yet, please drop by the Free Talk Live LRN.FM Twitch channel over at twitch.lrn.fm. And that is the way that we stream out HD quality video from our studio here. We've got multiple cameras in the studio, and we've increased our ability to direct the cameras. I know some people have complained about the sort of auto switcher that we've had over time. We now have a manual switcher. We don't always use it, but we do have the ability to do manual switching now with a little punch box basically right here for Mark can easily access it.
Yeah, when I do.
So we're upgrading the video capabilities here in the studio. And one of the things that we want to also do with Twitch is get to the next level, if you will, the next broadcasting tier in Twitch, which is called Twitch Partner. We're already a so-called Twitch affiliate. It was easy for us to get Twitch affiliate because pretty much all you have to do is do a lot of broadcasting. If you do, X amount of hours over a month, then you basically qualify for the Twitch affiliate. So we've got that. We've had that for probably most of a year at this point. But we're not even halfway to the point of being a Twitch partner. We need to get to 75 viewers on Twitch simultaneously and
for a month
and sustain it over a month's time frame. So,
which I don't understand because there's plenty of time that people aren't on the air on Twitch.
No. It's only when we're live, Mark. So if we're not live, then obviously we can't have viewers, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. So it's only when we're live. So right now, 31 of them, which, we're on the radio on hundreds of, almost a couple hundred radio stations, 194 stations. I don't know how many listeners we've got on the radio, but it's probably hundreds of thousands over
done
a
the
week.
Numbers, I've broken it down from what I've seen, and probably in a month's time, we get 500,000 listeners.
500,000 over all the stations, they're not all listening every day, that kind of thing. But, and then, we've got thousands of people that listen to our podcast.
But to get 75 people on a gaming platform to come watch,
it's not easy.
Do a talk show is a different shtick.
It's not easy to do it, and so we're asking for your help. You can help us out by going to twitch.lrn.fm. I think it helps if you're logged in, and then just keep that browser window or tab open basically for the next few months, if you don't mind. Like if you've got a computer that's there open and online 24 hours a day, just keep our browser tab to twitch.lrn.fm, And then that way, when you're at your computer, we're there if we're live, and you can remember that we're there. And that helps because the more people we have doing this, the more likely they'll, maybe watch us when we're live. And then maybe we'll get to that level of 75 viewers, which helps push us up the charts, because this, you can look at it as activism too if you want, because the higher up we are on the charts at Twitch, and we're in the talk shows category, which isn't a popular category, so it wouldn't be too hard to get to number 1 or number 2. If we could hit over 100 viewers, we'd be able to do that on multiple nights per week. And so the higher we are on the charts, the more people are going to see the fact that we're there, right? Like if we're buried at number 30, most people aren't going to scroll down that far. They're not going to see us. But if we're within the top 5 or the top 3, that's going to result in more people sampling the show for the first time, more people then hearing the ideas of freedom. So if you want to help spread these ideas, this is a way to do it. And the Twitch platform does tend to be occupied by younger people. The people that are watching on Twitch are probably, I would say, under the age of 35, I would guess, because it's a video game platform. So anyway, we appreciate your help with that. It's twitch.lrn.fm. And every now and then we'll also do a Twitch-only show like we did last night. We do put those out on our the LRN.fm YouTube channel, but they're also archived on Twitch for a couple of weeks. So check them out at twitch.lrn.fm. And for the guy that dropped the F-bomb earlier, if you want to call during our uncensored Twitch show, then we won't have to dump your call if you want to say the F word on the air, because Twitch doesn't care about that stuff. We continue. Kyle is on the line listening to WIBC FM in Indianapolis. Go ahead, Kyle.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. You're on the air.
Hi. I wanted to talk about a Canadian company called Carbon Engineering. They make carbon-neutral fuel. They pull the carbon out of the air, and they can turn it into gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and I just don't know why. Why don't we know of this? Why is this not a thing? Why are we not furthering trying to figure this out? I mean, a lot of people are saying, we don't need it anyways. We have oil and all that, but I mean, it's a carbon neutral fuel. We can get it by just pulling carbon out of the air, and it costs the same as if we pumped it up from the ground.
So what you're saying is this could be a solution for all those people who are worried about carbon. This is the big thing that people, environmentalists are fretting over, is carbon is so bad, they say. And you're saying you can actually make gasoline from the carbon that's in the air.
Yeah, it is a hydrocarbon, so that makes sense.
Yeah, and it emits it doesn't emit smoke when you burn it. In like states like California that charge factories for their carbon footprint. I mean, imagine if it was the other way around, where once we hit carbon, it's like, we have enough of these in the world where every country could produce their own gasoline, that, it's the other way around where you get paid to put carbon into the air.
Well, that's what the market does, right? Like what you're pointing out here, and I did find the National Geographic article about this from June of last year.
I'm looking on their website here that says we're looking for motivated employees, investors, and partners. So
yeah, so what you're pointing out here is that on Free Talk Live, we've acknowledged, right? Like, we like clean water, we like clean air. I mean, who doesn't like these things? Beautiful trees and all that stuff. But the good news is the market can handle whatever the problems are that is thrown out there, right? Like, the market comes up with solutions because people are motivated to solve problems. And when people are free to combine their brain power with natural resources, it turns out that people are able to create new sources of energy that they didn't know were there before. And you're giving another example, the most recent example of this. Remember back in the old days, oil was considered to be a nuisance. Farmers with oil in their fields were upset about it. And now, if you found out that you had oil under your property, you would be very, very happy.
Very happy, yeah.
Same thing here now. Somebody's figured out how to make gasoline and other things out of carbon, literally pulled from the air. That's incredible.
Yeah, and sorry, I just lost my train.
That's all right, brother. It was a great call, Kyle. Anything else you want to share? Go ahead. Thanks for making it.
I can't remember.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Kyle. Yeah. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. So whether their goal was to make money or to clean up the environment, the point is they can do both of those things. You can clean up if indeed carbon's bad. I'm still not sure that it is, but some people say that it is. If indeed carbon in the air is a bad thing, carbon dioxide, then they have solved that problem. They've solved it. They've figured out a way to profit from this problem.
Well, no, they haven't figured out a way to profit. They've figured out a way to turn carbon dioxide into a hydrocarbon and burn it for fuel.
Okay, but they're pulling it out of the air. I mean, I understand you're saying that maybe it's an expensive process, perhaps,
right. Well,
at this point.
And you need to understand, as you know, technologies are introduced, first they're expensive, and then they're affordable. Chances are good that it's possible, but I looked at this machine that they're talking about here, and it isn't a small one. It's very large. Then again, a lot of it has to do with open space where air is flowing through sort of honeycombs driven by fans. So I don't know. Maybe it'll work out. Maybe it won't. Maybe we could just breed trees that use more carbon. I don't know.
From Carbon Engineering, the David Keith, who's a Harvard professor and the founder of the company, said capturing CO2 from the air and making fuel didn't require scientific breakthroughs per se, as much as $30 million, 8 years of engineering, and a million little details to get the process right. Getting it right also meant keeping the cost below $100 for each ton of CO2 removed from the atmosphere. So I don't know what a ton of CO2 breaks down into as far as, how many gallons of gasoline that'll make for you.
It's a ton. It's a lot.
Well, I don't know. More coming up here in moments. You can share your thoughts with us on Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops. Get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
#1 international best-selling author Matthew David Hurtado's pain was simple. Lyme disease bankrupted him in 2009, watching bankers take everything from his family. After building a 7-figure business from his couch, God called him to ministry to teach prosperity based on pain he could not tolerate in others' lives. IRS, creditors, car loans, debt. It's the Babylonian system, and you have to escape it before it's too late. Haven't you ever wanted to wake up from this nightmare? Matthew David's free quick study guide shows you what to do today to build lasting wealth in any economy. His discovery he made? It's all consciousness. Get Matthew's 7-figure quick study guide for clarity, certainty, and a proven strategy to build wealth once and for all. Visit escaperightnow.com. Do it now. It's free. escaperightnow.com for a prosperous future ahead with peace of mind. escaperightnow.com.
If you're looking for work, the person you are applying to may be even more nervous than you are. And the way things are now, your references have never been more important. Here are 3 tips. First, know that employers are checking. Every hire is under the microscope these days. Second, they won't just be checking references you provide. Figure that all of your ex-employers will get a call and be asked, would you hire him or her again? Third, assume you will be Googled. So before you apply, remove all those party animal photos from your Facebook page. Even if you're not in the job market, effective communication skills have never been more important, with money and attention so scarce now. For more tips for job seekers and getting better results in all your day-to-day communication, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever's on your mind. Just dial in here toll free. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We got enough time for you if you get in right now. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
Don't forget, you can join us online over at freetalklive.com. You can sign up for our email list. We send out usually no more than one email per week just to keep you in the loop with what's going on with Free Talk Live and LRN.FM. I will frequently update as to some new programs. So, for instance, over on LRN.FM, we've added the Proof of Love podcast, which is kind of like a relationship advice show by former Free Talk Live co-host Stephanie Murphy, Tatiana Moroz, and they've got a third lady that's on there, and I'm sorry I don't remember her name, but they're doing that. That's a new show that we've got now on LRN.FM. Also, Paul Duane is back, the gentleman from Utah who hosted the Paul Duane Show. He's now doing a show called The Soul Anarchist, and so that's cool. And so there's always new stuff coming out there, and you can find out about that when you're on our email list. And, of course, all the latest information about Free Talk Live goes there as well. Over at freetalklive.com, you'll find the email sign-up box right there toward the top front page of the website. All right, let's continue with your calls and thoughts. Scott is listening in Indianapolis to WIBC-FM. Hello, Scott.
Hi, how are you tonight, guys?
Great. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, hey, I live in the city of Indianapolis, and I really can't speak about other large cities, up north, but do a lot of large cities have pothole issues as winter turns to spring?
Well, I can tell you that
Yes.
rural New Hampshire most assuredly does.
Yeah.
We have frost heaves, we've got potholes, you get the whole shtick, especially around March when everything's moving and shaking in the ground and stuff's thawing.
It's bad. It's real bad
It gets
here.
bad. In Florida, I never really understood. I grew up my whole life. The same road had never been repaved. It was just this flat ground. The pavement stayed on there. Sure, it got old. At some point, you had to do something about it, but that was decades down the road. Up here, you got to redo a road every 5 years.
Yeah.
I got you. I wasn't sure where you guys were broadcast from, but the city of Indianapolis hosts many, many conventions, big-name conventions
Sure.
through the winter. Like we have the NFL Combine in February, which, if you're an NFL fan, brings big names in the city.
Okay.
I guess what I wanted to, Brad, the mayor gets on TV and says, guys, we're fixing the potholes. We got plenty of money. We're going to get it done. Yet these holes are just everywhere, right by this convention center, all this going on. How come cities don't just, get a little ahead of the game here and privatize this? Like, break a city up into sections and privatize it. If they all got money to do it, why do they just have the city do it?
It's a great question because the city is a bureaucracy, right? Like the city government is full of bureaucrats. And while some of them may have the best of intentions, it really doesn't matter whether they pave the road today, tomorrow, next week, 2 months from now, or 3 years from now. Because ultimately they know that you're going to pay the property taxes regardless of whatever timetable it is that they have. So while you're correct that if they were to do some sort of level of privatization or marketize the road somehow, that they would be likely taken care of in a much more efficient manner, the city isn't concerned with efficiency. They don't have to be.
Gotcha. Something funny, I do Uber driving on the side a little bit, and I was giving some European guys a ride to the airport. We were pretty close to the terminal, and the guy looks at me and he says, Scott, do you think if Hillary didn't president, your roads would be better? And I didn't feel like explaining how government works, so I said, maybe, who knows?
The answer is no, absolutely not. But it's funny that you brought up that you're an Uber driver, because I actually had some show prep tonight, which we're not going to get into any detail on. But since you're here, some of these Uber drivers and Lyft drivers are upset because they're saying they're not making much money at all. Have you ever done the math to try to figure out, after you subtract the cost of gasoline and oil changes and regular maintenance on the vehicle, versus, take that out of what you're getting in, the 75% of each ride, I think is what are they doing 75% still? Is that still the number?
Well, I've got a full-time job. I've just got a kid in college right now, so that takes a lot of my money and mortgage and everything else. But, I mean, first of all, you're not going to make $1 million doing this.
No.
You possibly, if you do it every day of the week, everything, you probably can get by. Okay. But, the goal is, you put a little money in your pocket. Maybe, a lot of people get paid. You don't go to the ATM on payday to, put $100 in your pocket so you got money for lunch and gas. And the whole idea of it is, just a little pocket money for you, really. Maybe 75%, like St. Patrick's Day last weekend on Saturday, it was really hopping. Yes, that's profitable to do it then.
So you got the surge. You got what they call the surge pricing on St. Patty's Day, where they actually charge more for the rides. Is that what happened?
Sure. Yeah. So you're probably gonna you're gonna pour out every 100 you make. You're probably literally, if you focus the expense of your car and gasoline, you're probably gonna get half of that.
Mm-hmm.
But, it beats sitting at home on Saturday night, not doing anything, or at the bar, et cetera. So it's, like I said, you're not going to make $1 million doing this.
No, I don't think anybody really thinks that. But some people are saying that they're making less than the minimum wage once they finally, factor in all the costs that they, have to incur to kind of run their own car. Because you got to take care of your own stuff when it comes to being an Uber or Lyft driver. There's no centralized company that's going to take care of it.
I think half is a little higher because, it depends on if you park somewhere and wait or you know where to go. You do like in Indianapolis, if you were to do a ride from the airport to downtown, it's about $15 in your pocket, which, if you do the math at 53 cents a mile, as they say, you make about $10 doing that. Takes 15 minutes.
Yeah, so the people that we've talked to have said they're making about probably $10 an hour, 10 or 11, 12 bucks an hour.
Well, in some places, $15 an hour is minimum wage, so therefore they are making less than minimum wage.
Well, this guy here in this story that we're not going to get into from The Guardian says he made $3.75 an hour. But the question is, how is he calculating that? Are you calculating all the hours you're sitting around waiting for a ride? Because you could be doing other things during that time. Like you could be at home cleaning the house or playing a game or whatever.
He must be. Yeah, he must be. Like, I'm looking at the app right now, and it's surging downtown at $3.50. So if you pick someone up, you get $3.50 added on to whatever their ride could be. And it's probably pretty busy, but then again, you got a lot of people that may want to go from bar A to bar B or, home. Just it's a little chilly tonight. So
and you know what? As long as you're having fun and you're making a little bit of money, I think that's enough for most people. If you like meeting people, you're going to meet plenty of people doing this kind of work.
Yeah, and I haven't really had a bad experience yet. I don't do the late night bar scene. I'm a little old for that.
So nobody's puked in the back of your car then?
No, I haven't had that. And I was 21 at one time and a college student and everything, so I know how that goes. I try and avoid it. But
Scott, thanks for your call tonight, man. I definitely appreciate hearing from you.
Thanks for having me. Yeah. I'm glad I stumbled upon you guys. You gained a new fan tonight.
Well, we're there every Saturday night on WIBC there in Indianapolis. And if you really like the show, then call the station and tell the program director.
Because we got a weekday show, too.
Yeah, we do have one, but it's not on yet.
Okay, great.
It's not on there yet. Hey, thanks, Scott, for the call, man. I appreciate hearing from you. Let's continue here with Matthew, listening in Louisiana, watching us actually on YouTube. Go ahead, Matthew.
Yeah, the gentleman Kyle who called in earlier about carbon dioxide turns into fuel, I had looked into this, and the reason this is not at this current time a commercially viable process is two. one, carbon dioxide is still a trace gas.
Mm-hmm.
Number two is the covalent bond between carbon and the dioxide, the two oxygens, is so strong it requires a tremendous energy input to break it. The only thing that does it with any kind of cost efficiency are plants.
Well, they've been, according to this National Geographic article about changing CO2 into gasoline, they've been bringing the costs down on this, as you might expect. As time goes on, development makes things more efficient, and they've brought it down to where it only costs $100 to cycle through a ton of carbon. And they say here the numbers look good, according to Klaus Lackner from the Center for Negative Carbon Emissions. The next step is to have a number of scaled-up plants producing hundreds of thousands of barrels of carbon-free fuel to drive costs down further. And much as solar and wind energy costs have plummeted over the past decades as scale has risen, as prices fall, more governments may get on board with the idea of pulling CO2 out of the air. And they say here
The only way, Ian, this will work is if the government mandates it, because currently it's like they're estimating they're going to get it down to about $1 per liter of diesel, which is kind of high.
Well, it's a new development. You know, I'm not going to make predictions about the only way a thing's going to happen, because I didn't even know you could pull carbon from the air and turn it into gasoline. So there's all kinds of, things that can be possible once people are in search of a profit, and they got a goal in front of them. Thanks, Matthew, for the call. We'll see you tomorrow night. Online in the meantime, freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live.
So we had a guy call in on Saturday, and he was really kind of befuddled as to why anyone would alter their consciousness at all. Like, he had done a little bit of drinking when he was younger, but he's an older guy, and he just really couldn't get it. And I imagine it's really kind of difficult for somebody who doesn't get it. It's really easy to look down your nose at that point. I imagine it's really difficult for people like that to understand, but the fact is that if you're not altering your consciousness as a being on this planet, you're probably in the minority.
Or at some point in your life. Because some people, they kind of get out of it when they get older for whatever reason. They just get tired of it. They've had enough of that experience.
By definition, caffeine is a drug.
It sure is.
Absolutely. It's a consciousness-altering drug.
Wait until you give me a can of Diet Coke. I will flip out right here.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Pure Life Water, helping you drink better and live better by providing a zero-calorie alternative to sugary drinks. Visit us at nestle-purelife.us. When kids are playing, they often don't want to stop to keep hydrated, so send them out with a bottle of water and encourage them to take frequent drink breaks, or call them inside for a quick sip. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Questioning Authority is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates.